I'm a third-rate artist, unrecognized by the entire entertainment industry. First, no acting skills. Second, no singing skills. Third, no clout. Lying purely on this face. To barely survive in the showbiz. Entering the industry 5 years ago, I've played quite a few fifth female and sixth female roles in dramas even. Tiny supporting roles with barely any lines, words. But every time, the camera sweeps past me. The bullet chat is always a unison of exclamations, praising my visuals. Big Sister's beauty is to die for. This kind of beauty is truly the ultimate one and only. Top-tier visual in the Cient. Too bad her acting is super trash, completely zero sense of immersion. Not a single person remembers my name is Guji, and everyone only remembers a nameless nobody who acts terribly but possesses an insanely gorgeous visual. My manager, Sister Ning, looking at my stagnant career, finally couldn't endure it any longer and took on a dating reality show with top-tier rank clout in the industry for me called Let's Fall in Love. The rules of this show are to have 12 artists become a fake couple step by step, progressing toward fake marriage. The buzz and discussion are always an all-time high, but the controversies and hate comments have never stopped either. Holding the contract, my fingertips trembled with anxiety. Turning my head to look at Sister Ning. Sitting opposite, my tone was filled with resistance. Sister Ning, are you crazy? Having me join this show, aren't you afraid I'll get flamed to death by netizens? This show has always been the cheat code for clout, but it's also a whirlpool of controversy. Male and female artists who participated before were either flamed for clout chasing, boost their fame, or criticized for having their fake persona shattered. Almost no one can survive safely. You're gorgeous, but you originally didn't have any clout anyway. Joining it, you'll definitely get flamed even harder, that's all. I threw the contract onto the table and kept shaking my head. I'm not going to these dating reality shows. It's way too forced. Sister Ning hated that I couldn't live up to expectations, taking out her phone, opening my completely empty schedule and shoving it right in front of my face. Gucci hand. Look at yourself this month. See? Besides a few small events organized by our company, there isn't even a single outside job back then. You could still play a few small supporting roles to keep your face out there. You can't even get into a drama crew. If you don't join this show, either the two of us can straight up quit showbiz and go back to our hometown to sell sweet potatoes and call it a day. I stared blankly at the blank screen, my throat choked up with bitterness, unable to say a single word. She let out a long, her tone softening as she patted my hand. Han. I'm not asking you to become a massive top-tier star, but at least you need to reach the tier 2 or tier 3 line. Don't make me have to beg low and humble every day. Ask for resources anymore, just join this one show once you get some clout. I won't force you to join variety shows anymore. Seeing the exhaustion in Sister Ning's eyes, I finally had no choice but to soften up. Fine, I'll go okay. Honestly, I myself understand clearly that if I don't farm some clout, my acting career can be considered completely cooked. It's not easy to survive in this showbiz at all. Just as I agreed, I suddenly remembered a key question and quickly asked repeatedly, "Oh right, who is my fake CP partner? You can't just leave me blindfolded and playing guessing games forever." Sister Ning shrugged with a helpless face. "The production team is keeping it confidential. You'll only get to meet them on filming day, saying it's to build hype for the show." My heart skipped a beat, too completely random. Strangers having to act out intimate, affectionate scenes in front of lens. Just thinking about it, the cringe and embarrassment was already surging up. What gave me an even bigger headache was that Sister Ning even set up persona for me as a gentle, attentive, model-tier, subtle, and sensible girlfriend. She repeatedly warned me that I must tone down my usual chaotic, carefree personality and absolutely never reveal my true colors in front of camera. My mouth hummed in agreement just to get it over with. My mind had long since flown away to the clouds, not caring at all about what she said. On the day of filming, the production team came to my studio early on to install, who usually acts wild and carefree every day must absolutely not reveal her true nature in front of camera. I grunted in agreement to brush it off, but my mind had already drifted off. The Cloud 9 not paying attention to Anne. I heard its super effective look. I just won the competition and brought it back for you. Set up cameras following closely to film the whole process. After finishing styling, I sat in front of the lens trying to force a smile in front of the camera, introducing myself in an awkward manner. "Hello, everyone, I'm Gucci Han. I'm 25 years old, an actress." The director sitting opposite smiled and asked, "Jahan, coming to our show, Let's Fall in Love. Do you have any thoughts?" Clenching my palms tightly, I spoke the polite words, prepared beforehand. "Actually, I'm quite looking forward to experiencing a different life and also want to feel what it's like to be in love." Only I myself knew clearly that I came here just to clout chase, so that I wouldn't be completely eliminated from Showbiz Online. There's a lot of speculation about your CP partner. Did you scroll past them? I nodded and honestly replied, I saw them, yes. Some say it's a top-tier young actor, others say it's a powerhouse movie king, but I don't know specifically who it is either. Just waiting for the production team to announce it is fine. Ending the brief interview in front of the lens, a staff member immediately came to my side, her tone gentle yet carrying a sense of standard procedure that couldn't be refused. Jihan, next up, we're going to meet your CP partner. You need to put on a blindfold first, keeping it secret throughout the process. Please cooperate. A bit inside my heart, which was already anxious, hearing that made me clench my skirt hem even tighter. Looking at the black velvet blindfold being handed over, I had to bite the bullet and nod my head. The moment the blindfold covered my eyes, plunging completely into darkness, my sense of security was instantly drained, empty, leaving only awkwardness and anxiety overflowing inside my heart. The staff gently supported my arm slowly, leading me out of the studio, getting right into a black commercial van, waiting outside. Inside the car, it was terrifyingly quiet, with only the low, subtle growl of the engine. I sat upright in my seat, not daring move even a single bit, in my head wildly imagining the mysterious CP partner. The car rode smoothly for about 20 minutes, then slowly came to a stop. We're here. Be careful getting out of the car. Okay. The staff carefully helped me down from the car. Underfoot was a soft carpet, my nose instantly catching a faint scent of rose flowers blending with the sweet aroma of French cuisine. By my ears was soft, soothing piano music. The romantic atmosphere was unbelievable, totally contrasting my mood that was stretched taut as a piano. Where you can take off the blindfold now. The director's voice echoed. I tremblingly raised my hand to slowly remove the blindfold. The light was a bit blinding. I slightly narrowed my eyes slowly, looking up ahead. The next second, my whole body went completely stiff. On the spot, my mind going blank, the point of forgetting to breathe. This was a French restaurant, decorated exquisitely and romantically. Crystal chandeliers emitted a warm, soft light. All around was decorated with white roses. The entire space only laid out a single table set for two, making the vibe pushed to the absolute max. But the man sitting at the head seat made me instantly question if I was dreaming. Shayinsi, the god tier, top-tier movie king of the entertainment industry right at debut. He was already at the peak of acting skill, god-tier performance, sweeping every major film award. Domestically and internationally, visuals and aura, literally the undisputed ceiling of domestic entertainment. Heard he only focuses on acting in movies, never joining any reality shows. A low profile, cold celebrity in the industry, also an existence every artist wants to look up, yet as distant as the end of the world. Or a dark gray suit, neatly tailored without a fancy tie. Collar slightly loosened his cold eyes, sitting quietly there, fingertips resting lightly on the tabletop. The sleek, sharp outline of his side profile exuded a powerful aura from top to bottom. Screaming, strangers, stay away. Stood frozen on the spot, legs feeling like poured lead, unable to shift even half a step. Why is it him? How on earth did the production team manage it, pairing a no acting skills, no singing skills, no clout, paying you back for the living expenses over the years at no clout, nobody with three no's like me pair up with a top-tier movie king like Shiyinsi as a couple on a fake dating show? G, and quickly take your seat. The staff's reminder finally snapped me back to reality. I lowered my head, cheeks burning, red, legs walking stiffly toward the opposite side of the dining table, and sat down. Throughout the entire process, I didn't dare to look up it. I'm so nervous that my palms were sweating buckets. Even my sitting posture became extremely constrained. The production team's camera pointed at us from every angle, without any scripted prompts, purely recording the most authentic state. During our first meeting, the waiters served the dishes one by one in quiet restaurant only. The sound of cutlery clinking lightly resonated. The awkward atmosphere nearly drowned me. I stared intently at the food plate in front of me, not daring to breathe heavily. My mind was a chaotic mess, completely not knowing what to say or do. My usual carefree, unbothered personality was now suppressed by nervousness, without a single trace left behind. The gentle, girlfriend image that my manager instructed me to maintain was long thrown to the back of my mind, till the director gave an earpiece reminder. We both snapped back to reality and began the self-introduction segment according to the show's script. Yinsi spoke first, his voice deep, low, and cold. Hello, I am Yinsi, an actor. A simple sentence, without a single extra word. When it was my turn, my throat tightened from nervousness. I raised my head, quickly glanced at him once and then immediately lowered my head again, voice trembling. Almost imperceptibly, I stammered out, hello, senior Shi, I am Kutsi, and also an actor. In the industry for 5 years, played a few small supporting roles, don't have any representative works yet. I hope in the coming time we can get along peacefully. Senior Shi. Sorry to trouble Senior Shi to take good care of me. By the time finished speaking, I almost wanted to bury my head into the food plate, my heart filled with self-inferiority. He's a movie king winning awards till his hands get sore while I'm a nobody, small fry that no one knows. This gap is literally a world apart. No wonder I was awkward and clumsy to the point of panicking after introducing ourselves. It fell back into a quiet atmosphere as silent as a graveyard. To break this deadly, cringy awkwardness, I had to risk it all and rack my brain to find a topic. Turns out as soon as I opened my mouth, it was all questions that made people embarrassingly want to dig a hole and crawl in. I gripped the cutlery, speaking in a low voice, eyes dodging. Senior Shi, why did you join a dating reality show like this? Right after saying that I wanted to slap myself. Once this question was truly way too blunt and impolite. Yinsi's hands holding the cutlery paused a bit. Clearly he didn't expect I would ask so directly either. Between his elegant eyebrows flashed an extremely subtle look of shock, the tip of his ears turning slightly red. His voice was calm as usual, but it also revealed a bit of awkwardness. Before this I had never interacted with this kind of reality show, so I wanted to give it a try. I nodded my head, my mind suddenly going blank, and asked another even more embarrassing question. Then, did you know your partner was me? Didn't the production team keep it a secret? Right after I finished, Yinsi fell silent. The awkward atmosphere peaked to the extreme. He clearly didn't know how to answer, either his eyes dodging slightly. The movie king, who was always calm and composed in front of camera, at this moment also revealed a bit of awkwardness, clearly just like me, currently surrounded by this awkward vibe. I wanted to cry without tears, only wishing I could find a hole to crawl into. Perfectly good meal was ruined by me turning awkward the whole time. Throughout the meal, I only kept my head down, eating, not daring to speak or raise my face. Food tasting bland, unable to sit still. Yinsi was also quiet the whole time. The vibe between the two of us was frozen rock solid, not a single sweet interaction, not a single smooth conversation. Only awkwardness overflowing after finishing the meal. I felt like I was sitting on pins and needles, finally held out. After finishing the meal, I felt like I was sitting on pins and needles, but finally managed to pull through until the end of the filming session. I said goodbye to Yinsi perfunctorily, then followed the staff to leave the restaurant. My heart was filled with despair, feeling that I had completely ruined everything. The entire process was insufferably awkward. After broadcasting, I'd definitely be flamed to death by netizens. Not only did I fail to farm any clout, on the contrary, I'd even be flamed for clout chasing the movie, without knowing my place. Turning home, I flopped onto my bed, not wanting to face the upcoming events at all. Even subsequent notice from the production team, I didn't even bother to check, but what I never in a million years expected was that the night the first episode aired, it straight up blew up the entire internet. No melodramatic tropes, no forced sweet moments. Yinsi and I spent the entire time cringing so hard we wanted to crawl into a hole during our first meeting. The awkward glances exchanged while eating my awkward messy questions, and Yinsi's flustered shy look instead came the source of joy. The whole internet instantly blowing up, every single social media platform trending, hot search topics kept exploding, firmly dominating the top 10 search rankings, showing absolutely no signs of slowing down. Yinsi and Gujahan, top-tier celebrity cringe faces during first meeting between movie king and 3No artist Guji, and her awkward questions. Yinsi turns out to also have times when he's this flustered. Let's fall in love exploded right at premiere. Netizens went completely wild. Viewers who were waiting to watch sweet romance were instead drawn in by this ultimate peak authentic cringe. Passers-by fell into the pit en masse, all social media teasing and laughing so hard they couldn't breathe. This is truly a classic blind date crime scene between two total male and female strangers. The scene the entire time was both awkward and hilarious. Yinsi has never been this flustered in his whole life. The first episode of the show instantly became legend views, surpassing 100 million within just 1 short hour, setting a new record for the premiere episode of a variety show. My manager's sister, Ning, almost blew up my phone calling me over the phone. Her voice trembled with excitement. Shihan blew up. We're genuinely famous now. Quickly check. Abo, after just one night, you gained 500,000 more followers. The show's official account was also flooded by netizens, completely crashing it. I hurriedly opened Weibo. Look at the skyrocketing fan numbers, along with the trending hot search keywords flooding everywhere. My whole body froze on the spot. But the joy didn't last long. Before long, I scrolled past another side in the comment section. A massive number of Shi Yinsi's diehard solo fans flooded the comment section full of harsh, piercing insults, all of them attacking me. Where did this 18th tier nameless nobody artist come from? Demanding to be paired up with our boy, a 3-no artist, daring to clout chase the movie. King Shi must be crazy to want fame. This bad, it's so cringy. Just watching this, looking at those harsh comments, my heart was filled with a mess of emotions. I tightly gripped my phone, staring at the verbal abuse flooding the screen. I understood clearly that ever since I agreed to join this show, I had completely stepped into the whirlpool of public opinion. The road ahead was destined not to be peaceful after the first episode aired. Social media exploded in popularity from those classic, cringy-worthy scenes. Along with becoming widely known, I also fell into a wave of criticism from Shi Yinsi's fans. Public opinion, endlessly controversial. Looking at the harsh comments on my phone, I couldn't catch a single wink of sleep all night. My manager's sister repeatedly warned me, when filming the second episode, you must into a wave of criticism from Shi Yinsi's fans, with endless public controversy. Looking at the jarring comments on my phone all night, I couldn't get a single wink of sleep. My manager's sister Ning repeatedly reminded me, over and over again when shooting a place to crash, and besides, must maintain a gentle, soft-spoken, docile, and sensible persona. Absolutely. Must not slip up like last time. To avoid inviting more hate, I etched those words into my heart, anxiously awaiting the filming of the second episode. The production team understood clearly that in the first episode, the two of us were way too awkward and distant, so they specifically set the theme this time to warm up our familiarity, arranging a relaxing, healing date at an amusement park, hoping we could put aside our stiffness to gradually close the distance between us. On filming day, the sunlight was exceptionally bright. Inside the bustling amusement, dark human voices, vibrant, colorful balloons, and cheerful music echoing everywhere, were all filled with a lively vibe. I followed my manager's instructions, wearing a gentle pastel-toned dress, hairstyle in a low ponytail, soft, sweet makeup, intentionally slowing down my speech. Throughout the process, I spoke in a quiet, soft voice, walking, timidly trying my best to act out gentle, composed persona. When facing Shi Yinsi, I maintained an appropriately shy and polite demeanor. Shi Yinsi still wore his usual simple casual clothes, a white hoodie paired with black pants, shedding the distant look when wearing a suit. He had a bit more of a youthful vibe, but the cold aura around him still hadn't changed at all. His eyes nonchalantly scanned the noisy surroundings, a subtle look of awkwardness flashing past his gaze. When filming first started, I still managed to hold on to this gentle persona, following behind Shi Yinsi, speaking softly, not even daring to laugh too loudly, obedient and low-key, the whole time trying to keep a proper distance. Both of us would feel comfortable. But before long, I completely shattered my persona when walking past the roller coaster in the fun zone, looking at the train zooming past on the sky-high tracks, hearing the loud hype screams of the park visitors. Up there, a lively, energetic nature, deep in my bones, and my fun-loving, crowd-pleasing personality could no longer be suppressed. Since I was little, I've had a huge thing for thrilling extreme rides, and roller coasters were my absolute top favorite. Ride right in front of my eyes now instantly made me throw the gentle persona my manager carefully instructed straight out the window. I tightly grabbed Shi Yinsi's sleeve beside me, my voice filled with uncontainable excitement, rambling on. Senior Sai, let's go ride the roller coaster. This is gonna be so hype. He clearly hadn't adapted to this sudden change of mind, yet even less expecting that I'd be this proactive. But before he could open his mouth to decline, I was already dragging him toward the queue line of the roller coaster. Shi Yinsi, cold and quiet on the outside, always gave others a strong OP impression. Everyone in the industry knew he was super steady, composed, with almost nothing that could make him panic. But no one knew that deep inside, he was insanely terrified of heights and extreme rides. The weightless feeling at high speed would make his whole body tense up, heart beating wildly from fear. This was a weakness he had never made public. Even his own fans only knew he didn't like and didn't touch these rides, without knowing he was actually legitimately terrified. Shi Yinsi's lips twitched. The words he originally intended to decline with were swallowed right back down at his lips. Looking at my happy, enthusiastic side profile in the end, he couldn't bear to ruin my mood, silently clenching his fists, biting the bullet to follow me into the line. I was way too overjoyed, completely letting myself loose. my true nature. Even all of his fans only knew that. Didn't like and didn't touch these rides, but didn't know at all that he was genuinely, truly terrified. Yinsi's lips moved slightly as the words of refusal he originally intended to say reached his mouth only to be swallowed back down. Looking at my profile, which was overflowing with joy, he ultimately couldn't bear to ruin my mood. Quietly, clenching his fists, gritted his teeth and followed me into line. I was far too thrilled. To you. How could you don't tell me you? Vibrant, beaming nature revealed without a single trace of concealment. Finally, it was our turn to board the roller coaster. 504. The staff buckled the seatbelts. My face was... A staff member unbuckled the safety belts. My face, full of anticipation and excitement, waving my hand at the camera. While Yinsi beside me silently closed, his eyes tight, jawline tense and stiff, both hands gripping tightly onto the safety bar in front of him, knuckles exerting force, to the point of turning pale white, his breathing also becoming a bit more rapid, suppressing the fear deep down in his heart. The roller coaster slowly started, gradually climbing up to the highest point, after which it suddenly plunged straight down. The feeling of weightlessness instantly. I screamed out loud in excitement, my crisp, bright laughter, enjoying the thrilling feeling throughout the whole ride. Every now and then, I turn around to look at Yinsi beside me, face overflowing with joy. But Yinsi kept his eyes tightly shut throughout the entire ride, brow furrowed, deep lips pressed tightly into a straight-line face, slightly pale, pressing his physical discomfort, the panic in his heart. Throughout the whole ride, he didn't say a single word, only his hands, tightly gripping the safety bar, revealed his inner nervousness. Even though he was terrified to the absolute max during the time after that, I completely let myself lose the whole time, dragging him to play every single ride in the amusement park. Happy as a kid, I ran hither and thither, reckless and unstoppable, completely forgetting about the presence of camera, forgetting my own persona, forgetting the distance and status gap with the movie, being lively and mischievous. As for Yinsi, he silently walked beside me the whole time, every single time, biting the bullet to tag along, suppressing his fear throughout the entire process. His face turned even paler each subsequent time, afterwards even secretly taking deep breaths to calm the panic inside his heart. But every time I looked at him, he quickly pulled back all strange expression, pretending as if nothing had happened, afraid of ruining my mood. After playing, he sat down to rest on a long bench. I chugged down water, still hyper-excited, while Yinsi tilted his head lightly, rubbing his temples. Only after a long while did he manage to soothe physical discomfort inside. Throughout the entire process, he didn't complain me even a single word, nor did he say that he was scared, but just silently stayed by my side, pampering, going along with all my preferences. Soon enough, episode 2 of the show officially. I read in the show my persona completely collapsed, both hyper-energetic and mischievous the whole time, dragging Yinsi's arm. The scene, riding every single extreme ride, was fully exposed in front of the audience's eyes across the whole internet. The keywords Gujihan persona collapse, Gucci, and doesn't know her boundaries. Yinsi enduring the whole time, and related keywords instantly climbed straight to the hot search. At the same time, keywords like Guji and Radiant Sunshine, cold movie, being scared of extreme rides also attracted a lot of discussion from passersby. Casual viewers felt this footage was both authentic and hilarious, giving an extremely fun gap-moe feeling. Everyone expressed in unison that they were pulled into the pit by their interaction, feeling that I was very lively and genuine, while Yinsi's tsundere type of company was surprisingly gentle. However, Yinsi's fans completely exploded. They already knew their idol didn't like, had never touched these extreme rides before. Just a quick glance was enough to recognize Yinsi's nervousness and discomfort in the show, instantly causing all their fury to target me across social media platforms. The comment sections were flooded with insults everywhere. Is Guji hand-blind or something? Can't she see he's extremely uncomfortable? Just a clout chase she doesn't even know. Social media platforms and the comment sections were flooded with hate comments everywhere. Is Guji hand-blind or something? Can't she see he's extremely uncomfortable? Don't worry anymore, no matter what he limit, clearly knowing that he was scared of these things, yet still trying to drag him along. Really doesn't know her boundaries at all before. This pretending to be gentle and sensible turns out to be all an act. Her true nature is truly uneducated, selfish, and only caring about herself. Get off the show immediately. On what basis do you make our boy suffer and go crazy along with you? The overwhelming flood of insults came crashing down even harder than the first episode. Looking at the harsh comments on my phone, inside my heart I felt both grieved and self-blaming. Not until the show aired did I belatedly realize Yinsi's abnormality. At that time that he was genuinely terrified. while I was only concerned with having fun myself completely, disregarding his feelings. My manager seeing the skyrocketing discussion level was both happy and worried. On one hand, the show's clout set a new record and my fan count also increased quite a bit. On the other hand, smear posts were rampant everywhere, the insults almost drowning me out. I tightly gripped my own heart filled with guilt looking at the image of Shi Yinsi on the screen, trying to hold back his discomfort during the show. Inside my heart, I felt an unspeakable discomfort. I also understood that because of my reckless behavior, I had once again fallen into the whirlpool of public opinion. The online insults surrounded me everywhere. I locked myself inside my rented room looking at every line of harsh comments, fingertips freezing cold. Yet still forcing myself to hold it together because I didn't want anyone to worry. My manager, Mr. Ning, called continuously telling me not to care too much to adjust my state properly, prepare for the next filming session. My mouth sounded tough, but inside my heart it felt like a heavy rock was weighing down on me, making it impossible to breathe. I covered my mouth, not daring to let out a sobbing sound, trying to hold back tears, still smiling as I answered her. But the moment I hung up the phone, I couldn't hold on any longer, curling up on the sofa, tears silently falling onto the throw pillow. My tough-as-iron exterior was all just a forced facade, while the grievances and sadness in the dark corner could only be silently endured by myself. Inside my heart, I understood clearly that when all is said and done, it was because I was too reckless, not caring about Shi Yinsi's feelings, that led to this storm. Toward him, my heart was filled with guilt. Carrying this remorse, I anxiously awaited the filming of the third episode. The production team chose location for this date at a quiet, elegant little cafe. Free from noisy crowds, the relaxed, tranquil vibe was very suitable for both of us to calm down and talk. I arrived at the cafe earlier than scheduled, hands clutching the gift I had prepared in advance. Fingertips slightly pale, nervously waiting for Shi Yinsi. Didn't have to wait too long. That familiar figure appeared at the door. He still had his usual cold, calm demeanor, wearing a simple beige knit sweater, shedding the usual distant feel from the screen, adding a bit of warmth and gentleness. He pushed the door open and entered, his gaze accurately locking onto me, slowly walking toward me. Senior Shido. I hurriedly stood up to greet him, sitting posture, upright tone, filled with caution, completely lacking the mischievous hyper-energy from the amusement park. Shi Yinsi sat down opposite me. He raised his hand to order 2 cups. Coffee, eyes resting lightly on me, tone calm, unable to discern any emotion. Have you been waiting long? I just arrived myself. I took a deep breath, mustering all my courage to place the gift in the dark-colored box, both hands presenting it in front of him, cheeks slightly burning, eyes filled with sincerity and guilt. Senior Shi, this is a small gift I prepared for you. As for the incident, the amusement park, last time, I'm truly sorry, Senior. It was because I was too reckless, only caring about my own fun, without paying attention to your feelings. From now on, my cheeks were burning slightly hot, my eyes full of sincerity and apology. Teacher Kai, this is a small gift I prepared for you. As for what happened at the amusement park, last time, I'm truly sorry. Ran how many red lights just to catch up and get here. Only then did I know you're actually scared of high-altitude extreme rides. Truly, I'm so sorry, Senior speaking. Toward the end, my voice got smaller and smaller, my head also drooping slightly, not daring to look into his eyes, my heart filled with self-blame. I thought he would politely say a few words, or even be a bit distant, but unexpectedly, Shi Yinsi, looking at my awkward, regretful appearance between those cold, handsome eyebrows, showed an extremely subtle trace of gentleness without any intention to blame. He accepted gift. Fingertips accidentally touching my hand. His tone gentle as he softly spoke to comfort me. It's okay. I don't blame you. I'm not angry at all. You don't need to take it to heart. Just a simple sentence instantly soothed the anxiety and guilt in my heart over the past few days. Before I could even react, Shi Yinsi also took out an exquisitely packaged gift box from beside him and handed it to me. In his deep black eyes carried a faint, warm smile. This is for you. In the previous 2 filming sessions, I was a bit quiet, so consider this my sincere apology. I froze instantly, eyes wide open in disbelief, staring at the gift he handed over. Both my hands felt a bit panicked. I never thought he would prepare gift for me, let alone expect him to take the initiative to apologize to me. Trembling, I raised both hands to accept gift, my heart filled with both shock and warmth, rims of my eyes feeling hot. Senior Shi, this is too precious. I can't accept it. It's fine. Just take it. Consider it that we've resolved, not in our hearts. From now on, let's film the show well together. clutching the gift tightly in my arms. I nodded, my head hard. The guilt and anxiety in my heart at this moment completely vanished, replaced, instead by a warm, overflowing feeling. We sat in the quiet cafe, no longer having the awkwardness from the first meeting nor the noise of the amusement. Just quietly chatting with each other like that. Peaceful, comfortable vibe gradually let go of the stiffness and distance between both sides. Soon enough, episode 3 of the show officially aired. The sincere apology in the cafe and the scene, both sides giving gifts to each other, were fully broadcast before the eyes of the whole internet. After this episode, aired, public opinion finally had a shift. Gu Jihan sincerely apologizes to Xie Yinxi, and Gu Jihan and Xie Yinxi being gentle with each other. Keywords like the couple finally breaking the ice climbed. The hot search one after another. It was no longer one-sided biased flaming anymore. More and more passers-by started to understand, feeling that my true nature is simple. When I know I'm wrong, I fix it rather than intentionally doing it on purpose. There were also quite a few netizens captivated by the mutual interaction and the sweet, sincere, gentle communication frames between the two, starting to ship their interactions. Even a portion of Xie Yinxi's fans also gradually dropped their hostility, feeling like everything wasn't unforgivable. Finally broke the ice. Both of them are so gentle. Gu Jihan's apology was so sincere, we flamed way too hard earlier. She's just straightforward. She didn't mean any harm. This mutual exchange is so shipworthy. Finally, no more cringe. Senior Xi is so gentle. No intention to blame at all. Hope you two get along really well, of course. There was still a portion of toxic die-hard fans who refused to accept it, continuing to hurl insults in the comment section, claiming I was intentionally acting to whitewash my image, boycott calls, claims that I was fake crying for sympathy. Those were still there. But compared to being flamed by the entire internet, in the first 2 episodes this time I finally received quite a bit of goodwill and support. Looking at the warm messages in the comment section, the corners of my lips couldn't help. It's so great, of course. There was still a segment of toxic fans who refused to accept it, and continued to hurl insults in the comment section, claiming that I was deliberately acting to whitewash my image. The calls for a boycott, claiming that I was faking poverty and hardship to gain pity, were still there, but compared to getting blasted by the entire internet. In the first 2 episodes this time I finally received quite a bit of goodwill and support. Looking at the warm messages in the comment section, the corners of my lips couldn't help but bloom into a smile. Gloomy clouds in my heart had finally vanished. More than half while between me and Xie Yinxi, we had also broken through the initial awkward barrier, our relationship gradually turning much more harmonious. After that exchange at the cafe in the previous episode, between me and Xie Yinxi was significantly more natural, no longer awkward. The point of being unable to utter a word like at the beginning. The production team also struck while the iron was hot, arranging a new filming session. The set visit content was very simple. Let me go to the set of the movie. Xie Yinxi was filming with his crew to give him surprise, incidentally capturing his look while he was working. After receiving news, I didn't think too much, only thinking that he was at the film set every day, staying up late to film. Definitely both tired and not getting to eat anything fresh. So I wanted to prepare quite a bit, bringing along really thoughtful items. On the day of filming, I especially went out early in the morning, stopping by 2 fresh produce markets, picking the freshest watermelon shine, muscat grapes, strawberries, Taiwanese, mangoes, blueberries, every single item carefully selected. I had to feel them firm in my hand, smell the sweet aroma of the fruit, before daring to put them in the bag. After that, I went to a banana bread bakery, buying soft European bread fresh out of the oven, sliced bread and small pastries, even ordering a few dozen cups of hot coffee, specifically noting less sugar and less milk for fear that people in the crew might not be used to drinking sweet drinks. After returning home, I rushed straight into the kitchen, busy all the way from then until almost noon. First was washing all the fruit multiple times, cutting each grape down, removing strawberry stems, peeling mangoes, then slicing them while the watermelon was cut into large slabs. I remembered earlier when chatting on the show, Xie Yinxi casually mentioned a line that he feels things with cute shapes make his mood better. So I rummaged through the house to find the cartoon mold set I bought previously, pressing down one by one on the watermelon slabs to cut out neat, pretty Hello Kitty shapes. I wasted quite a bit of watermelon, failing many times, hands also covered in watermelon juice before finally finishing a box full of exquisitely shaped fruit platters, neatly arranged specifically, reserved for Xie Yinxi. The remaining fruit I also divided into small boxes, filling 3 thermal insulated bags, enough to share with everyone in the crew. By the time I finished everything, it was almost noon. My back and knees were aching, but I felt very much at ease. I didn't think at all about relying on this to grab screen time or build clout, purely feeling that working so hard like that, being able to eat a piece of cool fresh fruit. To relax a bit was enough. I changed into a simple set of clothes, hair casually, tied in a low ponytail. On my face, I only applied a layer of sunscreen, not even daring to apply lipstick. Too dark, fearing I'd become too stand out in the serious film crew. I dutifully followed the camera crew of the show. When we reached the filming location from afar, I could already hear the noise at the set, the clatter of the script supervisor's board, the sound of walkie-talkies, crew members running, back and forth, busy yet orderly. I instinctively stepped, lightly, not daring to make a sound to disturb, standing from a distance, quietly looking toward the monitor screen in the center of the frame. Yinsi was in costume, his posture heroic and imposing, completely different from a person who was sometimes bashful, quiet, and polite on the reality show. Yinsi on the film set had an extremely powerful aura, deep, solemn eyes, lines full of presence, every action, every expression, precise down to every detail, even his standing posture. They completely radiated the character's poise. Standing in the corner, I suddenly had a bit of understanding as to why he could stand at such a high position. After this scene ended, director Hugh called cut and the set relaxed slightly. I took a deep breath, carrying the thermal bags over, first lightly bowing to the director and key crew members, softly saying, "Director, thank you for your hard work, everyone. Thank you for your hard work. I brought some fruit, coffee, and bread. Hope you don't mind. Please help yourselves to some. There has always been someone secretly in love with you, King Qian. So please don't mind and help yourselves to a little bit." After finishing, I and the crew members brought coffee, bread, and fruit platters to distribute to everyone, from logistics staff, lighting, camera crew, to props and makeup artists. Everyone got a portion. I presented with both hands, attitude, extremely polite and respectful, with a gentle smile always on my face, not daring to be careless even a bit. Most people in the film crew were very approachable. When receiving the items, they all showed surprise, continuously saying thank you and praising me for being so thoughtful. The atmosphere at the set suddenly turned much warmer, right when I had just finished handing out the last portion of fruit and was planning to go look for Yinsi from the side. A male actor with a tall, lean build and a radiant smile walked over. I was the second male lead of this movie, Chang Yichen, having collaborated with Yinsi many times, with an extremely good personal relationship. Extroverted and fond, joking around, his popular standing in the crew was very high. Kang Yichen, as soon as he saw me, noticed me right away. Then, looking at the empty box in my hands, he nudged Yinsi's elbow, smiling with a teasing expression. "Yo, Yinsi, where'd you find such a gentle and thoughtful girl, yet you didn't even bothering introducing her to your brother?" As soon as his words came out, the surrounding staff, who were drinking water and resting immediately, turned their eyes toward us in unison. The director also put down his walkie-talkie, smiling as he looked over. The script supervisor, makeup artists, and several young actor assistants even stopped their work, completely faces full of gossip. "That is right, senior," she introduced her a bit, hiding her so well. "We've been curious all day." Long cheering and teasing sounds instantly erupted. I stood rooted to the spot, my face suddenly burning, hot fingers unconsciously tightening on my shirt hem, head slightly bowed, heart beating fast, out of control, whole body stiffened up, not knowing where to look. Yinsi was clearly also a bit surprised, his ear tips flushing with a shade of red, at a speed visible to the naked eye. He glanced at me first, eyes carrying a bit of helplessness, yet also a barely noticeable trace of gentleness. Only after did he use the most formal tone possible to say to everyone, "This is Gu Jihen, my partner on the show." "Partner?" Kang Yichen burst out laughing, completely not believing it, putting an arm around his shoulder, lowering his voice to tease, "Come on, bro, since when do you care about a partner like this? Having the heart to let someone come visit the set, and even bring this much food? Who are you tricking?" The surrounding people also laughed along, the teasing getting louder and louder. That's right, don't be shy, quickly confess, we promise not to talk nonsense." With teasing voices echoing non-stop, he went silent for a few seconds, then finally opened his mouth, voice not loud but extremely clear, "She's my girlfriend." Soon as he finished speaking, the whole set instantly exploded. Whoa, Kang Yichen was the first to clap and cheer. "I knew it. Congratulations, bro," surrounding us were friendly laughs and jokes and warm blessings. My entire face was burning hot, as if about to burst into flames any second. I bowed my head even lower, unable to utter a word, only feeling my heart pounding continuously, even my ears feeling scorching hot. Yinsi very naturally took half a step toward me, silently helping me block out those pryingly inquisitive gazes. The action was so subtle that almost no one noticed, yet it brought an unusually strong sense of security. After a round of lively excitement, everyone gradually returned to their work positions, the set, restoring its original busy state. Yinsi looked at me, still a bit tense, and so he said softly, "Go sit in my car for a bit, it's too noisy outside." He led me to his private trailer, pulling the car door open to let me get in first, and followed inside himself softly, closing the door behind. Inside the car was very clean scent, very light and fresh, belongings neatly organized. One could tell he was a very disciplined person, who paid great attention to small details. "Have a seat." He pointed his hand toward the sofa, lightly. His belongings were neatly arranged. Could tell he's a very disciplined person, who pays great attention to the little details. "Have a seat." He gestured toward the sofa. I had just sat down when I saw him pick up the fruit box that I had specially prepared, just for him, slowly opening the lid. Next second, his movements paused. The fruit inside the box was arranged extremely neatly. Mango, strawberries, and grapes arranged in a circle, and in the middle were all small, delicate Hello Kitty-shaped watermelon pieces with clean edges and a cute shape. Looking at it, anyone could tell it took a lot of time to meticulously press them out one by one, rather than just hastily slicing them up to get it over with. Yinsi was clearly stunned, a flash of pleasantly surprised wonder passing through his eyes. He looked up at me and asked softly, "Did you cut all of these yourself? You even specially made them into this shape?" "Yes," I smiled shyly, muttering in a quiet voice. "I spent quite a while fussing over it at home. I used a mold to press them. At first I even messed up a few pieces so they don't look very pretty." He didn't say anything more, just picked up a Hello Kitty-shaped watermelon piece, put it in his mouth, and chewed slowly. His naturally cold brows gradually became gentler, the corners of his mouth slightly turning up a bit. It was a very faint smile, yet extremely genuine. "It's very sweet." He looked at me, his voice incredibly gentle. "It looks great, too. You really put your heart into it." We just sat in the quiet trailer like that, chatting with no onlookers, no cameras watching, and no script. He told me how long this scene had been shooting, how there were scenes where they had to stay up until early morning, and how tough the filming process was. I told him about my experience of cutting fruit until my hands were sore, how the molds were hard to use, and how I almost wanted to give up. The vibe was truly relaxed and comfortable. This was the most natural, relaxing time since we started filming the show until now. Not long after, a crew member came to call him to shoot the next scene. The set visit filming ended right there, the night the episode aired. It swept the hot search rankings. Guji Han visits Yinsi on set. Yinsi admits to having a girlfriend on set. Let's fall in love, sweetness overload. The discussion topics blew up one after another. The viewership once again breaking records. Passers-by were all moved. "That's so thoughtful. With so much fruit, she even shaped them. You can tell she really put her heart into it." The vibe between the two of them doesn't feel like acting at all. That smile from Yinsi, who can handle it? He completely couldn't hide it. But at the same time, the wave of insults was still overwhelming. Large number of solo fans of Yinsi flooded the comment section, attacking me with fierce words. And 18th tier artist coming to clout chase for drama again. Intentionally going to the set. Grab attention, so manipulative. Hype over a trashy fruit platter. Overacting. Get away from our boy quickly. You're not worthy. On one hand, my follower count surged alongside goodwill from passers-by. On the other hand, there were non-stop insults from toxic fans and cyberbullying. I looked at my phone screen, feeling completely torn inside. I clearly just wanted to quietly film the show. Clearly just wanted to treat someone a little better, but as long as I stood beside, I might always have to face these hurtful words. But at least, in that quiet trailer, the moment he said it was very sweet and full of heart. I really felt it was all worth it. After the set visit, episode aired, the awkwardness between me and Yinsi had almost completely vanished. I was no longer the movie king, who was only polite and distant-like at the beginning, but gradually revealed the gentleness hidden beneath his cold shell. During breaks between filming, he would unconsciously help me block out the crowding camera lenses. When my mood sank because of the hateful comments, he would casually act like it was nothing and tell me not to mind it. I even remembered clearly that I don't eat cilantro drink, coffee with half sugar, and all these small habits. Aloofness anymore, but began to gradually reveal the gentleness hidden beneath his cold exterior. During breaks between shooting sessions, he would unconsciously help block the crowded lenses for me. When my mood sank because of anti-fans hating on me, he would pretend to casually say, "Don't pay it any mind." I even remembered clearly that I don't eat cilantro, and when drinking coffee I need half coffee must be half. Thugger habits of walking close on the right side, those small yet sincere acts of care, I silently gathered them all into my view. my heart also gradually softening. Time flew by, and soon enough it was time for my birthday, which also happened to coincide with the show's filming schedule. Honestly, I had never placed any expectations on my birthday. Since I was young, I was never the type of person to be cherished like a precious gem. After entering the industry, I was even more frequently playing background extras or minor supporting roles. The only people by my side were Tu Uyen and my parents plus Sister Ning, who would send wishes on time. Added to the fact that all this time I was always living under the insults of Xie Yinxi's fans, I intentionally kept it quiet without telling anyone, only intending to go home and eat a simple meal to call it a day after finishing the busy filming session that day. I thought this year's birthday would be just like every other year, quiet with nobody caring about it. But I never expected that Xie Yinxi had long kept everything in mind. He who knows from when had checked my profile, or perhaps from a conversation between me and Sister Ning that night, silently remembered this day. To prepare for this birthday session, it started preparing a long time ago, having to race against the night shooting scenes. The film crew, while making use of rest breaks, secretly contact the production team. I kept it entirely hidden from me, to step-by-step prepare. A surprise. He knew I didn't like noise, and flashiness didn't like common roses, and liked even less daisies or plain flowers, like chamomile, but only had a special love for phlox roses, that highly saturated pinkish-purple hue, that was both passionate and luxurious, carrying bit of cool elegance, haughtiness, yet full of charisma. Specially requested people order the freshest phlox roses in advance, completely covering the entire venue without a single stray flower. He also knew I was afraid of sweets, so he specially custom ordered a low-sugar mousse cake, color being that soft pink water shade I love. Even for the restaurant lights, he specially gave instructions to adjust them to warm yellow glow, not glaring, not showy, just enough to illuminate each other's faces. The gift took even more thought. He went through all my small posts on social media, saw that I occasionally mentioned a line about liking delicate jewelry that wasn't too showy, so he went in person to select a collarbone necklace with a simple design, pendant being a small pink diamond, not ostentatious, very flattering on the skin. He even reached out the production team to ask for all unreleased behind-the-scenes photos from the very first episode, until now selecting them one by one, printing them out by hand, and arranging the layout into thick album. Beside each page was a line of small, extremely neat handwriting noting down what happened on that day. All of these things he didn't tell anyone, nor did he ask his assistant to do it. For him, almost everything was personally arranged by his own hands. On the exact day of my birthday, the show crew only told me this was a normal filming session, telling me to arrive at the designated French restaurant on time. I didn't think much about it at all, just wearing a simple one-piece dress, light makeup, hair naturally down. The moment I pushed the door open and entered, my whole body froze right on the spot. The entire room was filled with the rich color of flowers. Gorgeous premium phlox roses, striking eyes, warm soft yellow light beaming down the air, carrying a faint gentle floral scent. There was no noisy music, only soft background music playing softly. On the long dining table, set with exquisite tableware right in the center, was a small birthday cake, stuck with a few unlit candles on top. Xie Yinxi was standing amidst the sea of flowers looking at me. Today he wasn't wearing a formal suit or acting costume. While Xie Yinxi was standing in the middle of a sea of flowers looking at me. Today, he wasn't wearing a formal suit, nor was he wearing performance costumes, just a simple white shirt, making him look less distant and much more accessible and warm. Seeing me enter, the gaze in his eyes clearly softened as step by step he walked toward me. I stood at the door for a long time, still unable to recover a scene this grand. No one had ever put so much heart into something for me, let alone this person standing at the top of the entertainment industry and admired movie king, adored by thousands. Xie Yinxi's nose bridge suddenly felt stinging hot, the rims of his eyes turning red in an instant, his voice trembling slightly. Even a full sentence of happy birthday couldn't be spoken completely. He walked up to me, his voice lower and softer than usual, carrying a steady, firm gentleness. Earlier, I accidentally found out, so I took the liberty to arrange everything. He handed over a gift box, packaged very luxuriously, the ribbon tied neatly and properly. A small gift, I hope you'll like it. I raised both hands to take it, my fingertips trembling slightly as I slowly opened the wrapping. Inside was a collarbone necklace, very delicate, simple yet elegant, completely fitting the style I usually wear. Below was a thick photo album, opening it to look every single piece. His memories from when he and I started filming. Until now, our first meeting, The awkwardness at the French restaurant. Then at the amusement park where I dragged him running like crazy. And when we apologized to each other. At the cafe, even the look of his ear tips flushing red. When I visited the set, every single photo was meticulously arranged by him. I turned each page one by one, tears, finally unsuppressible, softly falling down. All of these were gathered by you. Muffled, he nodded slightly, looking at my red eyes, feeling a bit flustered, yet a bit gentle, felt like these moments were worth capturing. Looked up at him, wet eyes, saying, "Thank you, senior she," truly calling out this senior she was no longer politeness or distance, but deep, sincere gratitude. He looked at me, going silent for a few seconds, softly saying, "You don't need to always call me senior she. In private, you can just call me by my name." My heart suddenly skipped a beat. All around was the fragrance of phlox, roses the soft, his eyes resting deep on my face, without straying. There was no teasing noise, no public opinion, surrounding us, only everything he had meticulously prepared for me. All the past insecurities and anxieties along with the worries, at this moment softly fluttered. In my heart, I understood very clearly that something had quietly changed. What was originally just a bit of gratitude, a bit of goodwill, under such blatant care and favoritism, that love had quietly sprouted, turning into flutter that even I didn't dare to see through. I've fallen for him in the room overflowing, with unfading floral colors lit up by him on this birthday. My heart completely fluttered. It's just that this flutter I didn't dare to admit, couldn't say out loud, and couldn't show. He is a movie king, battered by thousands, while I'm a 3-no artist, full of scandals. The gap between us was never just status. But even so, at this moment I still sincerely felt this was the most unforgettable birthday ever. The warmest day after the episode about the birthday surprise. Arid public opinion completely fell into a state of fierce opposition. Keywords and images on the hot search. The level of discussion across social media platforms surging higher. Toxic solo fans of Shi Yinsi completely lost control, camping under my comment section's DMs. Social discussion topics using the most harsh words to hurl severe abuse, seeing their idol, who was usually cold and celibate-like, because that movie king had never shown even half a bit of gentleness to outsiders, yet personally chose venue, personally decorated the sea of flowers, and personally made the memorial photo album, giving all his gentleness to me, even knowing full well this was work arranged by the dating show, even understanding clearly that every filming session had a routine. Half gentle to outsiders, yet personally picked. Venue, personally decorated the sea of flowers, and personally made the photo album, dedicating all his gentleness to me. Even knowing full well that this was a job set up for the dating show, even understanding clearly that every shooting session had a script in place, yet they still couldn't accept it at all. In their eyes, a nobody with no works, no fame, and no background, a 3-no actress like me, was just scheming to leech off the movie king, clout chase for hype. Every interaction on the broadcast was me intentionally trying to seduce him, and all the gentleness was engineered by me. Every single word carried chilling malice. The comment section was spammed. The point, it was unbearable to look at. I looked at these arguments while deep inside keeping the most clarity, I admit, in the face of Shi Yinsi's unreserved gentleness time and time again. That favoritism shone through every tiny detail. The flutter in my heart had long since quietly sprouted. The instinctive care, those unintentional blushes, and the unhideable reliance, all it was true emotion that I couldn't suppress. But I understood even better that he and I, from start to finish, were just co-stars on a show. This seemingly sweet encounter was ultimately nothing more than work for artists like us. It was all for the show's hype and for each person's professional interest. A heart flutter could be hidden deep inside, but absolute must not be taken as real, and even less allowed to cross the line, suppressing all those feelings that shouldn't exist in just a short week. A nameless 18th tier nobody like me, a 3-no actress, saw her Weibo follower count surge to 1 million people, completely escaping life of a small-time nobody. Commercial contracts came flooding in, from cosmetics and fashion to household brands, all sending endorsement deals. New web drama projects and film crews also proactively sent scripts over with offers for second female lead, third female lead, and even web drama. Female leads piling up a whole drawer, no longer like the days playing extras where people would nitpick and choose. But this sudden glamour didn't make me smug or arrogant. On the contrary, it kept me anxious and restless all day. I was clearer than anyone else that what I had now, the fame, the hype, the resources, and everyone's attention, was never earned by myself. It was thanks to Shi Yinsi. It was him who willingly paved the way for me, using his connections and resources to give me stage play roles, honing my acting skills alongside me, always protecting me in front of the camera. It was also thanks to our CP fans who always supported us, pulling me out of the public opinion quagmire and letting me shine in front of everyone. I became famous riding on his halo, relying on the CP's hype to gain a foothold. This glory never belonged solely to me. Once I step away from him, I'll probably immediately be knocked back to my original form. And it was precisely this sober clarity that made me desperately suppress the heart flutter deep inside. The show's filming reached its mid-stage. According to the preset rules, it was time to enter the crucial mutual confession selection segment. The production team specially set up the venue, a small romantic and emotional room. Warm, golden star light strips wrapped around the windows, the whole room accented with the soft pink roses I love most. Soft, slow background music echoed up. There was no extra crew, found only the camera, pointed at me and Sheyinsi, the quiet, ambiguous space. Even the air was filled with tense emotions. Without any verbose guidance, the official confession selection began. Sheyinsi sat opposite me, his posture straight, his usual steady, cold exterior toward the outside, whirled along with his distant, quiet demeanor, having completely vanished. In his eyes, only an unfading gentleness remained, his gaze locked firmly onto me without a trace of hesitation. I was the one to confess first, his voice deep, low, and affectionate, every single word touching deep into my heart. From the start of filming until now, all the companionship, every arrangement, and everything I've done for you wasn't just the show's script, nor was it acting. Beginning of shooting until now, all the times we've accompanied each other, every arrangement, everything I've done for you, it's not just a script for the show, nor is it an act to show off, but were things I genuinely wanted to do. I know the path you've walked through hasn't been easy, having been insecure, lost, and doubted, so I want to give you a hand, want to give you more opportunities, want to see you shine through your own efforts. Every moment being by your side makes me feel so peaceful. I want to continue going forward with you, so I'm seriously telling you that. I agree. I want to continue filming with you and also want to have a wonderful story with you. When he said these words, his tone was both solemn and sincere, completely unlike the usual cold demeanor of a movie king. As for me, sitting opposite him, listening to his deep, affectionate confession, seeing the seriousness in those eyes, my heart tightened in pain. The bridge of my nose burned, tears on the verge of welling out of my eyes. How could I not feel his true feelings? How could I not understand his heart? During those days spent together, his gentleness and favoritism, those silent sacrifices, had made my heart flutter long ago. But I couldn't nod, couldn't agree. I knew very well that everything I have right now depends on him, depends on our CP fan base. Once I agree to continue, I will forever live under his halo, forever be labeled as a leech clout chaser clinging to Yinsi, forever unable to become an independent actress. I was afraid that if I kept going, I would fall in love with him to the point I couldn't break free, only for both my feelings and career to ultimately vanish into thin air. I was afraid the fans who supported me would be disappointed, and even more afraid of Sheyinsi's solo, fans fearing that sky-high abuse would overwhelm me once more, calling me a greedy, insatiable parasite clinging on to him relentlessly, though usually my personality is carefree, a bit airheaded and silly-facing. Life's choices. I was exceptionally sober. I wanted to stand firm on my own 2 feet, wanted to challenge myself with roles of my own, wanted to throw off the label of depending on others rather than forever living off a path paved by someone else. Right before filming, I had called my manager, firmly stating my decision. Hearing this, my manager fiercely opposed it immediately. She tried every word to persuade me, saying that my current resources all relied on the show, all relied on Sheyinsi. Once I refused, all the halo would vanish into thin air completely, putting a period on the career I had worked so hard build. But my mind was set. No matter how my manager tried to stop me, I didn't waver at all. Unable to convince me, my manager could only helplessly compromise. Under the watch of all the cameras on set, under the gaze full of anticipation from Sheyinsi, I clenched my fists tightly, my fingernails digging deep into my palms, suppressing the deep pain and reluctance in my heart. With red eyes, I softly yet firmly shook my head. I'm sorry, Senior I don't agree. As soon as the words left my mouth, the atmosphere inside romantic house instantly froze. The soft music seemed to come to an abrupt halt, the whole venue dead silent. The light in Sheyinsi's eyes flickered out, but he didn't say anything more, just silently looking at me with eyes filled with a subtle disappointment. according to the show's rules. Mutual confession failed one side. Agreed one side refused, so we couldn't continue filming the show together anymore. The production team had to post on Weibo officially, right? A way publicly revealing the results of this confession selection to the entire internet, leaving no remaining chance to turn things around. The moment filming ended, I didn't turn my head back, walking straight out of this shared romantic house, full of memories. That night, the production team's official Weibo posted, on time, clearly announcing the confession selection results for me and Xie Yinsi without adding any extra guiding. This romantic night full of memories, that evening the official Weibo of the show crew posted right on time, clearly announcing the confession choice results of myself and Xie Yinsi without adding any extra spin or subjective guidance, only honestly reporting on the midterm confession selection. After that episode, arid public opinion immediately exploded. According to the show's rules, the production team officially posted on Weibo, announcing they would spend a full week collecting audience favorability across the entire internet, voted on by netizens to decide whether to agree to let me and Xie Yinsi continue filming or end it right here. As soon as the Weibo post was uploaded, related keywords immediately shot straight to the top of the hot search list across the entire web. The arguments endless. A large number of Xie Yinsi's toxic solo fans flooded into my personal page, every single word, blaming me for being an ungrateful wretch, saying that from start to finish I had leached off Xie Yinsi, relying on his backing to become famous, and as soon as I got popular, turned my back and pretended not to know him. Truly the ultimate ungrateful, backstabbing leech, criticizing me for being clueless and letting down everything the male lead sacrificed. But at the same time, a large number of passers-by, rational fans and CP fans also stepped up to defend me with all their might, speaking out for me, saying that joining a dating reality show was originally to seize career opportunities, and who wouldn't want to use the show to get recognized by more people. This caused public opinion on both sides to debate ceaselessly the keywords on the hot search, taking turns trending. Meanwhile, during this whole week, I completely blocked out all sounds from the outside world, plunging my entire mind into a non-stop work. Wheel shooting promotional photos and filming videos for new endorsements, studying scripts for my own web drama roles while brand live stream. Events were packed back-to-back, busy from early morning to late at night, where even time catch my breath was rare. I intentionally used busyness to numb myself, and deep down I had long believed that netizens would absolutely not agree to let us continue filming. After all, I had publicly rejected a top-tier movie king. After all, everything I have right now is inseparable from his backing and support. Even if there were passers-by speaking up for me, opposing voices would certainly hold the upper hand. I had even mentally prepared myself to completely say goodbye to the show, and had already discussed with my manager about my future independent development path, calmly accepting any outcome. Yet life is always full of surprises. Right when the one-week voting deadline ended, I received an official invitation from the production team. The staff enthusiastically informed that the voting results across the web were in the number of votes agreeing to let us continue filming far exceeded the opposing votes. The audience hoped we could keep going forward, holding the phone in my hand. I dazed out for a long time, still unable to snap out of it. Inside my heart, there was only sheer disbelief. Later, I found out that during this time together, it wasn't just the fans, but even a large number of passers-by were deeply drawn in by the genuine bond between us. They saw beneath Xie Yinsi's calm and cold exterior and unreserved gentleness and favoritism. They saw me from an insecure, timid 3-no actress, working hard to pull off a comeback, growing and fighting all along the way. And above all, they saw that between us wasn't deliberate script staging, but chemistry and attraction straight from the bottom of our hearts. In the end, they willingly voted yes to give us a chance to continue filming. Meanwhile, the production team had previously prepared a backup plan if netizens didn't agree. We would need to film a final farewell special episode, thank each other properly for the companionship over the past period and after that completely end our partnership, having no further contact from then on. Nobody could have expected that we could actually get the opportunity to keep filming. According to the production team's arrangements, the location to restart filming that totally ended our partner relationship with no further contact. From then on, no one could have expected that we would actually get the opportunity to continue shooting. According to the show crew's arrangements, venue for restarting the shoot was set at the place where we first met, a French restaurant. The location of our very first show filming was still that familiar spot, the floor-to-ceiling window. The soft, warm yellow light beamed down on the corner table, where an elegant bouquet of white roses was placed, gentle music softly and slowly going up. The arrangement of tables and chairs around, even the street view outside the window was identical to our first meeting. But when I pushed the door open, entered, and sat down opposite Shi Yinsi, the surrounding atmosphere and the mood of the two of us had long since become worlds apart compared to the beginning. Gone was the tension and awkwardness of our first meeting or the distant politeness. Gone was the suppression and hesitation during the confession, the knife-like pain. In their place was a subtle feeling of regaining what was lost, unspoken. Ere and after, a week apart, a remaining shyness, following the storms of public opinion. Even in the air, the space was filled with an indescribable ambiguity and heart flutter. Just a meeting of eyes was enough to understand the unspoken feelings from the bottom of our hearts. Sitting down on the chair, my fingertips unconsciously fiddling with my skirt, him thinking of everything he sacrificed all this time, thinking of the lost and found opportunity this time, thinking of the support from netizens. My heart was filled with intense gratitude. Both flustered and sincere, I repeatedly said words of thanks. Senior Kai, thank you so much. Thank you to the audience as well for being willing to give us this opportunity. In the future, I will definitely cooperate and film really well. Since the show started filming, till now I had always respectfully called him Senior Shida, using a distant form of address reserved for seniors to intentionally draw a clear line between the two of us. Both of us hid the heart flutters that we didn't dare to touch, also to maintain the boundary between both sides. Shi Yinsi looked at me non-stop, thanking him. Throughout the whole process, kept my head lowered, not daring to look straight at him. In his deep eyes, trace of gentle helplessness flashed by. Right. After that, he leaned forward slightly, his gaze gentle and focused as it locked firmly onto me, his voice deep low and pleasant to hear. He slowly spoke up and asked, "Are you planning to keep calling me that forever?" I abruptly looked, meeting his gaze, real person right in front of my eyes. My cheeks instantly flushed red, my heartbeat losing control and skipping a beat. I looked at him blankly, forgetting how to react. We've been through so many things together, going from strangers to acquaintances. You don't need to be so polite anymore. The corners of his lips curved up slightly, flashing a faint smile, yet extremely gentle. His tone was both serious and firm, lacking his usual cold and distant look when facing others, leaving only gentleness reserved. For me, in the future, no need to call me Senior Shi anymore. Just call me straight by my name, Shi Yinsi. Saw the sincere anticipation deep in his eyes. My fingertips trembled slightly. The boundary line built deep in my heart, silently swaying. Silent for over a dozen seconds, I avoided his passionate gaze, speaking softly yet calling his name extremely clearly. Shi Yinsi, calling out his name, completely shattered all barriers and awkwardness between both sides. We chatted again about the scene when we first met. He smiled and brought up my situation back then. I was so nervous that I gripped my shirt hem tightly, while stuttering through my words. I also shyly recounted how in the beginning I thought he was a high and mighty movie king. The whole time I didn't dare lift my head to look at him, only fearing I'd make a mistake. We chatted about every bit of detail since we started. Filming, talked about the heartaches and perseverance during my time playing background extras, talked beginning of shooting, telling stories about the heartbreaks and perseverance from back when I was still playing extra roles, saying about the controversies of external public opinion, talked about our plans for future filming, and also talked about the expectations both of us held for the future. No forced topics, no awkward silences from work. Life from the past to the future. The more we talked, the more relaxed we felt, and the more we talked, the more in sync we became. The subtle initial stiffness gradually vanished, leaving only gentleness and a deeply understanding closeness. This restarted filming footage, the full content. This restarted shooting segment, the content of the script. Our reunion at the restaurant after airing instantly went viral across the entire web, becoming the explosive, phenomenal hit. However long the show aired, the hot search dominated the trends for just as long. Gucci Han and Shi Yinsi reunite at restaurant. Shi Yinsi tells Gucci and to call him directly by his name. Keywords like the healing feeling when both head toward each other firmly occupied the top 10 of the hot search rankings. The whole social network seemed to fall into a frenzy, hype far exceeding any previous episode, completely blowing up beyond the fan circle. The web-wide voting passed smoothly, and Shi Yinsi and I officially used the show, solidify our married status, and continue filming, with the very first ceremonial task being a wedding photo shoot tailored for a real couple, actually completing this romantic shoot in the name of husband and wife. The production team had booked a high-end wedding dress boutique in advance, All over the room, exquisite wedding dresses and suits were displayed interchangeably. Yinsi originally had a tall, upright stature, an elegant, noble face, a literal walking clothes, anger. When wearing a neatly tailored, dark-colored vest suit with his broad shoulders, slim waist, and calm yet extremely striking aura, he didn't need elaborate decorations to shine bright. As for me, I chose a high-end minimalist satin wedding dress. The sharp off-shoulder design perfectly accentuated the graceful lines of my shoulders and neck. The satin material, draped incredibly well without fussy embellishments, simple yet still oozing, elegance and formality perfectly matching my radiant face and aura. After putting it on, my whole person looked both dignified and gorgeous. With just one look, I fell in love with this outfit right away. Wearing the wedding dress, I stepped out of the fitting room. Yinsi looked up and in. His eyes, which were usually calm, clear look of amazement instantly surfaced. His gaze locked straight onto me without looking away, his voice full of sincere admiration. "It suits you really well. So beautiful." Without a second of hesitation, this wedding dress was instantly locked in. Finally, we went together to the shooting location, a lawn in a French-style estate. The setup was simple, yet romantic. Clusters of phlox roses blooming in competition, combined with lush green grass and classic European architecture. Gentle sunlight poured down, a feeling of romance filling the space. When we first started the basic shots, the two standing shoulder to shoulder, holding hands and looking into each other's eyes, still looked fairly natural and relaxed. But the photographer wanted to capture the intimate vibe between a married couple, so he immediately spoke up to guide us. "You two get a bit closer to each other. Groom, gently hug the bride into your arms. Hug a bit naturally." As soon as the words left his mouth, Yinsi and I froze at the same time, the atmosphere suddenly becoming extremely awkward. Even though we had filmed to the mid-stage and gone through so many storms, when actually having to do these intimate moves, it was still hard to hide our flustered look. Both my cheeks flushed red instantly, my fingertips unconsciously tightening on the wedding skirt, my whole body stiffening, my heart rate accelerating uncontrollably. I didn't dare lift my head to look at him. The edges of Yinsi's ears also blushed slightly red. He who was originally always calm, control, I didn't dare lift my head to look at him. The tips of Yinsi's ears were also lightly blushing. He had always been calm and composed, and aloof, now also had a bit of awkwardness, slowly raising his hand to carefully hug my waist, his touch so light as if afraid of hurting me. Both stiff as boards, our movements both unfamiliar and awkward. Before we even had time to calm down, the photographer spoke up again. "Groom, you can gently pinch the bride's cheek a little, or touch foreheads together, eyes gently looking at each other. That way it'll feel much sweeter, like a real married couple." This instruction made us even more flustered. Both my cheeks flushed bright red, my eyes panicked and dodging, my whole body stiff, not knowing how to pose. My heart was beating so fast, it felt like it was going to jump out of my chest. Yinsi was no less flustered, his movement of raising his hand hesitant and slow. The moment his fingertips softly brushed my cheek, instinctively dodged slightly. The two of us locked eyes, an unhideable shyness in both our eyes, and even our breathing became cautious. Throughout the process, we were clumsy and awkward, not acting in front of the camera at all, only full-on panic and flustered shyness. But the photographer happened to capture this genuinely awkward and raw moment. He kept clicking the shutter, recording every frame in an incredibly artistic way. After the shoot wrapped up, we immediately gathered around the camera to look at the final product, thinking those forced posing frames wouldn't turn out as desired. The moment we saw the photos, neither of us could hide our look of surprise. In the lens, we carried a bit of awkwardness and restraint without any feeling of trying to act the guy's carefulness. The girl's shy fluster, along with the heart flutters and awkwardness that couldn't be hidden deep in our eyes, combined with the radiant light and soft pink roses. Every photo was surprisingly genuine and touching, a romantic vibe filling up the frame, even prettier than intentionally posed photos carrying so much depth. I looked at the finished product in the camera, unable to suppress a smile of surprise. Yinsi was also staring at the photos, gentle smile spilling over his eyes. He repeatedly praised the photographer for doing a great job, far better than expected. The entire filming process for the wedding shoot wrapped up. After the staff shouted, "Cut, pack up all," the cameras of the production team were completely shut off. The day's filming officially lowered its curtain. Yinsi and I each went to our respective dressing rooms to change back into our everyday casual clothes, shedding the heavy satin fabric and corsets of the wedding dress in an instant from a radiant An elegant imaginary bride in the wedding photos I returned. My usual carefree self. Yinsi also changed out of his formal suit, his whole vibe shedding the cold distance in front of the camera, adding a touch of everyday laziness. The two of us stepped out of the set one after another, both planning to leave and finish work for the day. I lowered my head to adjust my bag strap, about to politely say goodbye to him, when I accidentally heard Xie Yinsi beside me stop in his tracks, calling the photographer, who was packing up his equipment, over. His voice was deep and low, his tone extremely serious. Please, send me a full copy of all original photos from today's wedding shoot. Thank you. My footsteps paused, although deep down, I felt a bit surprised and confused. I didn't pay too much mind to it, only thinking he did that to serve the purpose of archiving promotional materials for the show later on. After all, it's a reality show, so one person keeping the original photos is normal. So I didn't think twice about it, just nodding at him. After finishing work, I left the studio alone. A full day of filming had already left me exhausted. After wrapping up, I went straight to my best friend's place to hang out and grab BBQ, wanting to relax a bit. Freshly grilled BBQ was laid out across the table. I was laughing and chatting with Suwan while she best friend raising the glass of soda and watching TV together. My best friend sitting beside me suddenly scrolled onto Weibo. He glued his eyes to the phone screen, his expression suddenly changing, and then abruptly shoved the phone in front of my face, his voice filled with sheer shock. Jahan, look at Xie Yinsi quickly. Xie Yinsi just posted on Weibo. My heart skipped a beat. I nonchalantly took the phone, but the moment my eyes hit the screen, a smile on my lips instantly froze. My whole body was completely stunned, my eyes showing an unhideable, unbelievable shock. The glass of water in my hand almost slipped and fell. That Weibo post was indeed just sent by Xie Yinsi without any status. Caption: attached, only posting a single wedding photo freshly shot earlier today. It was the photo where we looked the most awkward and also the most clumsy shot in the entire frame. In the photo, he was raising his hand trying to touch my cheek while my eyes were dodging in panic. Both clearly showed flustered awkwardness, hands and feet all over the place, and even blushing ear edges could be seen, clearly packed with naive shy heart flutters, completely in an edited raw original photo state. Below the Weibo post, he even tagged the show's official CP topic hashtag. This Weibo post had only been up for a few minutes and immediately blew up all over social media in the blink of an eye, shooting straight to the top spot on the hot search list. Back-end data directly exploded the comment section instantly, erupting into fierce debates. Public opinion split into two opposing sides. One portion of fans felt confused and skeptical, wondering why he would suddenly go rogue and post unreleased raw footage, feeling it didn't fit his low-key professional work style. Up until now, another portion of fans rationally explained that it was definitely to promote and build hype for the show, collaborating with the upcoming broadcasted episodes, the reality show. But even more hostile voices still united in aiming their criticism at me, starting to hurl insults at me non-stop, saying I intentionally tied myself to him to clout chase for fame, saying Xie Yinsi's Weibo post was completely forced by me, saying I was given an inch and took a mile intentionally, leeching off his hype. Harsh, nasty words instantly flooded the comment section. I gripped the phone tightly, my fingertips slightly stiff, my whole body still not recovered from the shock, my brows tightly furrowed. Both confused and stunned, I couldn't help but blurt out my voice, full of utter confusion. What on earth is he doing? This matter. He hadn't discussed it with me at all, and from start to finish I knew nothing about it. Looking at the screen flooded with all the gossip and hate comments inside, I was both flustered and panicked, completely at a loss for what to do. I tightly held the phone, looking at the sudden Weibo post from Xie Yinsi, along with the sky-high insults and debates raging in the comments. My whole body was still submerged in extreme shock, unable to snap back to reality for a long time, my fingertips trembling slightly from tension. Suwan, beside me, leaned in close. After skimming the post content, she flashed, teasing expression as if she understood everything, nudging my shoulder with her elbow, her gaze suggestive and mischievous. I see this whole thing isn't simple at all. That guy is Xie Yinsi, his status is a movie king and a top-tier A-lister. He's always kept a low profile and rarely posts personal update as yet. This time he even tagged the CP hashtag. It's clearly not just to promote the show. I think he definitely likes you for real, which is why he used joining the show as an excuse to secretly confess his feelings. The moment she said this, the best friend beside her nodded in agreement with an extreme gossip-seeking look. Hearing that, I instantly snapped back to my senses. Almost without thinking, I shook. Intensity. Hearing that, I immediately snapped back to reality. Almost without thinking, I shook my head, directly denying it, my face still with an evaporated look of shock. Don't joke around like that. How could that be possible? Don't make wild guesses. Truth is deep down. I wasn't completely unswayed by Xie Yinzi. During the recent period of interaction, his gentleness and favoritism on the show secretly clearing path for me, his protective moments and utmost attentiveness inevitably made my heart stir with a sliver of fragile affection. After all, he was outstanding enough and reliable enough to give anyone peace of mind. But from start to finish, tightly suppressed these improper heart flutters, deep down, inside, always keeping my clarity. We had only ever been in a colleague relationship, nothing more. His personality, off camera, was originally completely different, compared to in front of the lens. When filming the show, would play along, with his persona being gentle and patient with me, but as soon as the staff shouted cut, the gentle aura on him would vanish in a flash, instantly reverting back to his usual cold, distant, calm, and ruthless self. Every time after filming, show his attitude toward me was extremely polite and distant, not saying a single extra necessary word, lacking any surplus eye contact or interaction, as if all that gentleness in front of lens was just acting for work. We had added each other on WeChat early on when the show first started, yet the chat history in our contacts was extremely sparse. The few rare lines of dialogue were all show production notices regarding filming times or work details, completely routine. Other than those, there wasn't any private casual chit-chat at all, nor a single extra word of greeting. Even following each other on Weibo was due to the earlier voting period to restart filming because of the wedding shoot. Production team required us this episode to collaborate on generating hype for the CP, so I passively followed him back. Before that, we didn't even have any connection on social media. All intersections, all gentleness were strictly confined within the camera lens. Once away from the shoot, we were just ordinary colleagues, without any relationship. I stared intently at the phone screen, my heart tangled into mess, yet forcing myself to calm down, explaining to my best friend with a firm tone. He only did that for the show's hype, just collaborating with the production team for promotion. After all, right now the show is super hot and needs to rely on topics to maintain its heat. It has nothing to do with anything else, so don't overthink it, guys. Saying so, a hand holding the phone still unconsciously clenched tight. The calm deep inside my heart was ultimately still, stirred into ripples of waves by this sudden Weibo post. I truly couldn't understand why someone who was always low-key and cold like him would suddenly make such a move without even giving a heads-up beforehand. That sudden Weibo post from Xie Yinzi caused a storm across the entire web for a whole day, hype not dropping at all. Not only did the heat not cool down, but on the contrary, it drove our CP heat to a whole new peak. My manager, Sister Tik Nin, stared at the back-end data, grinning ear to ear for several days straight, beaming with joy. The moment she saw me, she couldn't hide her excitement. Jihan, this time is truly an unexpected joy. Your Weibo follower count has directly passed the 20 million mark. The national brand endorsement deal we discussed earlier has also been upgraded straight to Global Ambassador. There are also female lead scripts for 2 new dramas, proactively coming to us. Commercial resources and film resources have both doubled. Your career has completely gained a solid foothold. Looking at my career, Global Ambassador and lead actress scripts for 2 new movies actively reached out to us as well. Commercial resources and film resources have both doubled, and my career has fully established a firm foothold now. Seeing my career skyrocketing day by day inside my heart, I still felt deeply conflicted with 100 thoughts. On one side were clearly upgraded resources that couldn't be denied, while on the other side were Xie Yinzi's puzzling actions that filled me with questions. I could only set aside those random thoughts for now, giving my full heart and soul to the final crucial filming session, the wedding ceremony. The imaginary couple show's filming had reached its final chapter. This outdoor wedding that had been prepared for a long time was finally put on the schedule. 3 days before filming, Xie Yinzi and I met in person to finalize every detail for the wedding. I still kept a simple viewpoint, speaking softly, since I didn't invite many people. There's my manager, Sister Nin, and my best friend, Suwan, plus 2 female childhood friends who are also on pretty good terms with me in the entertainment industry, and 1 male friend, making 4 people total. Xie Yinzi held the list, seriously preparing notes, his voice calm and steady. As for the MC, I've invited male actor Kong Yichen, who visited the set before. He is great at hosting and controlling the stage and has a deep friendship with me. Besides him, there are 2 or 3 director and close actor friends, and singer Jin Woo coming to sing as well. They are all like family who know each other well, so the atmosphere will be a bit more relaxed, talking about the wedding decorations I still insisted on. The lawn wedding that I had always dreamed of. The entire space was decorated in a bright sunny style, taking romance and healing as the main theme, covered in my favorite phlox roses, combined with white French-style tables and chairs, delicate thin silk ribbons and shimmering string lights without heavy overly tacky decorations, carrying a touch of elegance, while overflowing with soft romance, perfectly matching my radiant, elegant, yet pure style. On the wedding day, the weather was extremely supportive, the sky clear and blue, without a single cloud. Bright sunlight spread across the lush green lawn, gentle breeze passing by with the scent of roses mixed with fresh grass. The ceremony space was arranged exquisitely and romantically, every small detail cared for perfectly. I was wearing a pure white formal gown, a wedding dress with delicate, luxurious tailoring, accentuating my slim, graceful figure, needing no elaborate jewelry to embellish yet still making radiant features on my face shine even brighter. My long hair, gently curled, both soft and refined. Yin wore an elegant white suit, with a simple shirt inside, looking handsome and dashing, shedding his usual cold, distant vibe, adding a touch of gentle warmth. Two of us stood shoulder to shoulder, the atmosphere overflowing with emotion. All the guests had arrived in full. My squad of close female friends surrounded me, showering me with praises on how pretty I looked. Sister Nin also stood to the side, her eyes full of relief. Yinsi's industry friends sat in the guest area one after another, greeting each other in a harmonious and cozy atmosphere, everyone bringing their most sincere blessings, waiting for the ceremony to start. At 3 p.m. the wedding officially began. The host, Kyung wearing an elegant dark suit, held the microphone and slowly walked onto the altar stage in the middle of the lawn. His voice was both gentle and full of emotion, his hosting pace extremely professional, attracting everyone's eyes as soon as he spoke. Honored guests, dear family and friends, good afternoon, everyone. Today we gather on this sun-drenched lawn to together witness Mr. Ki Yinsi and Ms. Gu Ji. Bride slowly walked up to the altar stage in the middle of the lawn. His voice, both gentle and deeply inspiring, with an extremely professional pace of delivery, captivating all eyes as soon as he spoke. Honored guests, honorable relatives and friends, wishing everyone a wonderful afternoon. Today we gather together on this sunlit lawn to together witness Mr. He Yinsi and Ms. Gu Ji in this romantic ceremony overflowing with love. There are no tedious complex procedures, only the most sincere blessings. Next, please, give a big round of applause to invite the main characters of today onto the stage. As his words ended, soft, romantic background music slowly began to play. I slowly stepped onto the lawn, the soft, pink roses on both sides gently swaying in the wind, sunlight lingering on my body, so warm and radiant. Everyone's eyes were all focused on me, applause resounding endlessly. Yinsi was standing in the middle of the ceremony altar, his eyes locked tightly onto me, carrying a never-before-seen gentleness deep within his gaze. Waiting until I stood firmly beside, Kang Yichen spoke up again, his tone both gentle and formal. From meeting each other, getting acquainted on the show to accompanying each other all the way from distant, awkward strangers to like-minded soulmates, you two have left behind countless warm moments in front of the camera. Today, in the name of an imaginary married couple, please complete this special ceremony together. Next, I invite the two of you face each other and speak your heartfelt words. Yinsi and I stood facing each other, both my cheeks slightly burning hot. Even though I knew this was part of the show's routine, under everyone's gaze, I still felt extremely flustered. Yinsi looked at me, his deep, gentle voice carrying clearly through the lapel mic. I'm very lucky to be able to meet you on this show, witnessing you go from a small actress who was still lost, step by step becoming confident and radiant. In the future, whether on or off the show, I wish you smooth sailing and everything shining forever. It was my turn. Clenched my fingertips, my tone sincere thank you for your care and tolerance all this time. I've learned so much from you, and I'm also very grateful for all these encounters. May both of us keep getting better and better in our own respective fields. After the brief yet sincere, heartfelt speeches, Kang Yichen smiled, coordinating the show with truly heartwarming intent. Up next, let us invite our special guest singer Kinwon to bring us a romantic song. As a gift for this ceremony, Kinwon held a guitar, sitting on the stage beside the lawn. His clear, healing singing voice slowly echoed a soft, gentle melody blending with sunlight and the sea of flowers. At scene, a romantic atmosphere instantly filled the entire space. The guests all listened in silence, immersed in this sheer affection. When the song ended, Chang Yichen started, cheering to hype up the venue's atmosphere, seeing how good-looking you two are together. Shouldn't everyone present? Here, show some hype. Let's have the two of them stand closer together. Capture the most wonderful moment, Jin. Down in the audience was the pioneer leading the charge. Shi Yinsi's close friends and my squad. Besties also clapped and cheered along. As the cheering and applause echoed non-stop chants of "Get Closer" rang out repeatedly. Both my cheeks flushed bright red instantly. Shi Yinsi, however, very naturally and softly wrapped his arm around my waist, both gentle and maintaining proper boundaries, causing the whole room to erupt in another round of well-meaning laughter. Amidst everyone's blessings, the wedding unfolded extremely successfully. Very soon after the music the venue switched to a cheerful dance tune with a clear rhythm full of vitality. Yinsi turned around and extended his hand toward me. His palm, warm, his gaze gentle and firm. "May I invite you to dance the first dance?" I raised my hand and softly placed it in his palm. He held it tightly, leading me onto the dance floor in the middle of the grass. His steps were relaxed, leading me along the cheerful melody as we softly danced. At first I was still a bit awkward, but gradually was swept up by this joyful atmosphere and slowly loosened up, stepping lightly to the rhythm. Before long, the guests down in the audience, one after another, gracefully led me along to the upbeat melody, gently dancing. At first I was still a bit awkward, but gradually got infected by this joyful atmosphere and loosened myself up, stepping lightly to the rhythm. Soon enough, the guests, below the stage one by one, stood up. My sister Nin, along with my squad of besties, Jinjai Shi Yinsi's best friend along with Jin, one and the others all pulled each other onto the dance floor. No more awkwardness or distance. Everyone joined in dancing too, cheerful music, laughing, and joking around together. Bright sunlight, gentle breeze blowing, the subtle scent of roses lingering all around, and lively dance music echoing across the lawn. Everyone hugged and danced, laughter and chatter resounding endlessly. No more forced acting in front of the camera, no more hustle and bustle of the entertainment industry, only the relaxation and romance of the present moment. This pushed the wedding ceremony atmosphere to its climax, also becoming the most heartwarming and touching scene of the show. The imaginary wedding filming ended successfully. Right after that, the show was set to start filming the imaginary couple's honeymoon trip. Show crew and I finalized the departure time early on. I was full of anticipation for this romantic honeymoon shoot, but as luck would have it, things didn't go as planned. Thanks to the hype from the show's massive blow-up, I received an invitation to attend a top luxury brand event overseas in Paris. This was top-tier fashion resources in the industry, playing an extremely crucial role in my career. The activity schedule happened to clash directly with the honeymoon filming schedule. The two sides truly couldn't align. I could only, with a heart full of guilt, negotiate back and forth, with the production team asking to postpone the honeymoon filming schedule. The production team carefully considered it and could only helplessly agree. I thought this matter was settled, just waiting for work in Paris to finish before resuming filming. Completely unaware that Shi Yinsi had long kept it from me, secretly negotiating multiple times with the production team, bringing crew members along, quietly fly to Europe, planning to give me a huge surprise. The brand activities in Paris were packed wall-to-wall, red carpets, exclusive interviews with media in English, brand dinner parties previewing, collections at the boutique. Running around at high intensity for 2 days straight, I was exhausted, the point of burnout, having no energy left to speak, only wanting to immediately get into a car after work wrapped up, head back to the hotel and rest. Right after completing all the schedules, I followed my manager, Sister Nin, onto the dedicated and waiting outside, lying flat on the seat and closing my eyes to rest. The van just started rolling through the streets of Paris at night, smoothly driving for not long when suddenly an ear-splitting screech of brakes echoed out. 2 black off-road vehicles suddenly charged out from both sides, sandwiching our commercial van and forcing it to stop by the curb. I snapped my eyes open in shock before I could even react. 4 or 5 tall, massive men charged down from the cars, burly guys with muscular builds, stern faces, saying not a word, directly sliding our van door open. What's going on? Scared out of my mind, I cowered into the corner of the car, tightly clutching the handbag in my hands, my voice trembling breathlessly. In my panic, I screamed out, "Ridiculous nonsense, big brothers. Let's talk things out. Don't resort to violence. I'm just a small hired hand actress. My wallet is cleaner than my face. Kidnapping me is really not worth it. I don't have fame or money. Brothers, let me go. I'll give you all the cosmetics in my bag, even the designer lipsticks. I promise I won't call the police. Sister Nin, hurry up and save. Don't just stand there. I haven't even gotten nationwide famous yet. I can't go down here. I talked while desperately struggling, on one hand screaming, myself hoarse calling Sister Nin. But when I turned my head to look, Sister Nin not only wasn't panicked at all, but on the contrary was leaning back, in her seat, a clear smirk on her lips, like she was watching an entertaining drama the entire time, her gaze continuously looking out the window intentionally. On the contrary, he leaned back against the chair, a clear smile on the corners of his lips, as if watching a fun show the entire time, his gaze constantly directed toward the window intentionally, pretending not to hear my cries for help. Clearly, she knew everything in advance, just waiting to watch me embarrass myself. Without waiting for me to say another word, a burly man stepped forward holding a soft black blindfold. Without a word, he gently blindfolded, pulling me completely into darkness. Don't blindfold me, that makes me even scarier. I have zero guts and I'm scared of the dark. I'll cooperate, I absolutely will cooperate, just don't scare me. Babbled nervously as someone carefully helped me off the van, stumbling all along, the way my mouth kept rambling, nonstop. If I knew this would happen, I wouldn't have taken this job. Honeymoon is nowhere to be found, and I even got kidnapped. I'm so tragic. Don't know how long we walked. The person leading me finally stopped, gently taking the blindfold off. My eyes, light slowly flooded back in. I blinked to adjust. The moment I clearly saw the scene before my eyes, all panic and fear came to a sudden halt. My whole body froze completely in place. This was Paris, a romantic outdoor restaurant by the banks of the Seine River. The night breeze blew gently, lights along the riverbank shimmering brightly. On the table lay my favorite phlox roses, warm yellow string, lights encircling all four sides, an extremely romantic atmosphere. And inside the restaurant, Yinsi was standing right there. He wore a simple, feet tall and striking, his eyes gentle, smiling as he looked at me. The show team's cameramen had also quietly taken their positions nearby. Capture this scene. Yinsi, why is it you, still in shock? Patted my chest, unable to calm down for a long while. Just now I was so scared my heart almost jumped out at this moment. I was both astonished and dazed, the rims of my eyes still slightly red. Sorry for scaring you. He quickly stepped to my side, raising his hand to gently stroke my messy hair, his voice full of doting affection and apology. Hearing that your honeymoon filming was postponed, I discussed it with the production team and decided to come to Paris, wanting to give you a surprise. Sister Nin also walked over, laughing so hard she couldn't stand straight. Don't blame me, it was all arranged by Teacher C and the production team. I was just cooperating with the plan. Only at this moment did I finally realize that everyone knew all along, and I was the only one kept in the dark, even putting on a scare scene. That was both pathetic and hilarious. Yinsi took my hand, leading me to the pre-arranged dining table. The night breeze mingled with the scent of roses by the sluggishly flowing river. He smiled and said, just consider this as being in Paris, starting our honeymoon shoot earlier than planned. First, let's eat a delicious meal. The upcoming schedule will be all up to you. Looking at the gentle man in front of me, but thinking back to my ridiculous and overly foolish appearance earlier, I was both annoyed and amused, yet deep down inside I was flooded with indescribable heart flutters. This sudden surprise became the most unforgettable prelude to our honeymoon filming. During the European trip, we ate and played completely relaxed. The week-long honeymoon shoot in Europe quietly came to an end. Just as preparations for filming episode 11 began, the entire internet suddenly exploded with a piece of shocking news that completely flipped all plans upside down. In the early morning hours, an anonymous Weibo account suddenly dropped a long post accompanied by dozens of photos, targeting me directly, maliciously spreading rumors, smear me. The post was full of insulting slanders, falsely claiming that during my high school years I was flirty, promiscuous, and unchaste in my private life, fabricating that in high school I had dated countless male students, playing with others' feelings with terrible moral character. They maliciously cropped and patched together a huge batch of high school photos, intentionally creating an illusion of intimacy with different male students. Among those photos, some were high school class group photos maliciously cropped into photos of just two people. Illusion of intimacy with various male students. In those photos, some were class group photos from high school maliciously cropped into a photo of just two people. Some were normal discussions about classwork with male friends or randomly running into each other at school and getting secretly photographed, then twisted into intimate gestures. There were even a few photos that were completely fake, created by Photoshop without a grain of truth. This exposure post on Weibo, as soon as it was released, instantly caused a storm across the web with terrifying destructive power. dominating. Hashtags on every social media platform, Kuji, hand messy private life in high school, Kuji, and promiscuous imaginary couple, image collapse. Negative keywords continuously hijacked the feed. The comment section was flooded with curses, slanders, and malicious attacks. Passers-by were led by the nose and joined in. Criticism. Antis went wild, spreading fake news and smearing. Netizens who used to aggressively ship the couple also jump-shipped en masse, turning back to attack. Public opinion completely lost control. Insulting words surrounding me from every angle, harsh words hurting me deeply. Commercial contracts were pulled en masse. Brands urgently took down all related materials, and every resource in the industry suspended. Overnight, from a rising reality show star, I turned into a stained artist mocked by the entire web. The speed at which things turned sour far exceeded everyone's expectations. The negative impact caused being utterly catastrophic. The show crew held an emergency midnight meeting, facing an irredeemable storm of public opinion. Episode 11, which was originally in preparation, completely failed to complete filming. They had no choice but to temporarily pause to cut losses in time, as well as to avoid dragging down the reputation and career of Shi Yinsi. In the end, the show's side made an official announcement. Shi Yinsi and I urgently withdrew from filming the show, officially leaving the show. All remaining filmed content was subsequently adjusted. The imaginary couple journey, which had started out so romantically, came to an abrupt end amidst this sudden malicious smear campaign. The moment the news was officially announced, I stared at the screen flooded with curses, thinking about the sweetness when going on the European honeymoon with him, the gentle gestures toward each other on the show, my heart filled with aggrieved sadness and pain, yet unable to defend myself. And between me and Shi Yinsi, those delicate feelings that had just blossomed were also forced to a sudden halt in this cyberstorm, before even a proper goodbye could be said. During the days, negative rumors spread all across social media. I locked myself in the apartment, blinds drawn tightly shut, not letting a single ray of light in, my whole body buried deep in the sofa, facing malicious comments clogging the screen. I couldn't even cry when Sister Nin hurriedly ran over, carrying piping hot porridge and food. In her hand, she sat down beside me, gently patting my back, her voice hoarse. Jihan, don't take it to heart, okay? Those things are all fake news and smears. I've already contacted a lawyer to immediately issue an official statement. We stand straight and aren't afraid of standing crooked, not afraid of them throwing dirty water at us. Slowly raised my head, the rims of my eyes red, gaze full of exhaustion and pain, looking at Sister Nin. You, who have accompanied me through so many years. A bitter smile appeared at the corner of my lips. Sister Nin, you started grooming me since my freshman year in college, leading me into the industry, teaching me the rules in the entertainment industry. Back when I was a junior and senior, before I even graduated, I followed you running around to various film sets, playing minor background roles, enduring and pushing through like that. We have been together through thick and thin for all these years. What kind of person am I? Could you possibly not be the clearest about that? Those high school photos were all normal interactions between classmates. I have never done anything out of line. What my personality is like, what my moral character is, you understand better than anyone. Speaking to hear. My throat choked up, unable to say another word. The companionship over all these years, she understood my true nature better than anyone. But even so, both your personality and your character, I understand better than anyone else. Speaking up to this point, my throat choked up, unable to say another word. Accompanying me for so many years, she understood my true nature better than anyone. But even so, the overwhelming slanders from public opinion could still easily push me down into a deep abyss. This feeling of helplessness left me suffocating. Sister Nin looked at my haggard appearance, rims of her eyes also turning red. She reached out her arm to hug, close, gently patting my back. I understand, of course I understand. It's because I didn't protect you well. It's my fault. Don't torment yourself anymore. Everything being handled by me will slowly set things straight. I leaned against her chest, finally unable to hold. I'd in and my eyes turned red, yet still trying hard to suppress my tears inside. Just after talking to Sister Nin for a few lines, the phone suddenly vibrated. Wildly, it was a call from Uyen. The moment I picked up, her worried and pained voice came through. Han, how are you doing? I saw the news online. Don't listen to those nonsensical words. Absolutely. Don't be heartbroken, okay? Don't beat yourself up listening to caring words of my best friend, the aggrieved. Frustration inside me surged even more, yet I could only steel myself to act calm, answering hoarsely, I'm okay, don't worry. How could I not be heartbroken? What made me sad was never just that a surging career. Suddenly reset back to zero or a show. In preparation was completely cut short halfway through. All efforts built up for so long turned to dust. What made me even more heartbroken was that tiny spark of feelings that had just blossomed between me and she inside those heart flutters. Before even having the chance to confess, were just like that, completely severed, leaving the show. Abruptly, we no longer had any reason to meet or chat with each other anymore. Even a simple private word of greeting became a luxury. Those sweet moments during the European honeymoon trip, those gentle glances exchanged on the show, chemistry as we slowly drew closer in real life, all were completely ended by this cyberstorm. What was thought to be gradual familiarity and secret heart flutters ended up without even proper goodbye, just ending in a rush. Hanging up the phone, I fell into silence again. In the room was a dead atmosphere. So much grievance and sadness inside, not knowing who to confide, and I could only swallow it back inside myself under Sister Nin's powerful maneuverings. My management company and personal studio immediately coordinated actions, drafting and releasing an official statement. Overnight, in the statement, it explicitly debunked every single slanderous word, solemnly declaring that I myself had never engaged in improper bad conduct as rumored online. All those high school group photos were normal interactions between classmates. So-called promiscuity was entirely a malicious rumor. At the same time, lawyer's letter was attached declaring that legal action would be pursued through legal avenues against all rumor creators and rumor spreaders, going all out to protect my legitimate rights. Sister Nin thought this forceful statement could soothe public opinion a bit and stabilize the collapsing situation. Never expected the opponent. Long prepared their next move, clearly wanting to drag me down to the bottom of the abyss. Less than an hour after the official announcement was posted, that anonymous account continued to drop even heavier hard proof directly, pushing public opinion to the brink of total loss of control. What was leaked this time was an audio recording processed to conceal identities. The voice inside couldn't be distinguished as male or female, claiming to be my high school classmate, using an extremely assertive tone to continue spinning vivid lies, smearing me, asserting that in high school, my private life was very messy, frequently getting ambiguously entangled with multiple male students with extremely improper conduct. At the same time the audio recording was dropped, it was also accompanied by a set of brand new photos. In the photos were several unfamiliar male high school students surrounding me. One extending a hand, tugging my arm, another blocking the path around me, looking like a surrounding me, some reaching out to grab my arm, some blocking my path all around, looking just like a group of people getting entangled with me. So those photos were indeed very easy to make people jump to wild conclusions. These successive waves of breaking news completely shattered the last glimmer of hope to turn the tables around. The online community was completely by the nose, with no one even bothering to listen to explanations anymore. They competed to mock company's statement as just a whitewashing trick, cursing me as a two-faced snake, one way in front and another behind. The gentle, level-headed image, painstakingly built up through the show, had completely collapsed. Slanderous insults, curses, malicious sarcasm surrounded me everywhere, even more intense than before. I became the total target of harsh criticism across the entire internet. Only I knew clearly that everything was lies and blatant setup. Growing up, I had never dated, even once. My heart was completely clean, without a shred of private romance. Those photos alleged to show entanglement, nothing more than back in high school after a male student confessed and was rejected by me. Unwilling to accept it, he kept grabbing and harassing me like that. Those were moments I desperately struggled but couldn't break free from, yet were intentionally photographed by someone, then cropped and twisted from the truth, to use as proof to smear me. As for these private photos that I originally didn't want to remember in the end, WHO used what means to dig them up. I was completely clueless, let alone having the energy to defend myself. Curled up in the pitch-black room, watching the curses online escalating day to day, my hand holding the phone shook non-stop. Everyone was cursing me, criticizing me. Everyone believed in those fake audio recordings and malicious photos, yet no one was willing to listen to even a single word of the truth. No one believed that from start to finish I was the one being stalked, the one being hurt. I sank into endless despair, where even breathing carried a sharp stinging pain. The curses and arguments online kept continuously spreading. I huddled up on the sofa in the dark living room, my phone turned face down to the side, the screen still paused on the venomous comments of netizens. My whole body felt drained of strength, without even the energy to lift my hand to close the web page. The pent-up grievance and despair made my chest tighten with pain. My career ruined, my reputation destroyed, all crushed by this unexpected calamity, making my mind groggy, about to fall into a state of numbness. My manager, Sister Tik Nin, suddenly rushed in her face, flushed red, her voice trembling with emotion. Jihan, hurry up, Yinsi, he posted a video. Yinsi just posted a video setting the record straight for you. I raised my head dazedly, my gaze blank without a single trace of interest, only mumbling under my breath. It's useless. No one will believe it. Sister Nin said not a word, shoving phone right in front of my eyes, opening the newly posted video that instantly caused the Weibo servers to crash. In the video, Yinsi wore no makeup or styled hair. He wore a simple white t-shirt, the backdrop being his living room at home. In the video, Yinsi wore no makeup or styled hair. He wore a simple white t-shirt, the backdrop being his living room at home. His tone extremely solemn. First, he held up an old photo from high school. In the photo, he was a chubby boy. His facial features still childish, completely different from his current handsome, all-movie king appearance, almost like two entirely different people. Right after that, he pulled out his high school ID graduation list and class group photo, showing them one by one to the camera, to clearly prove that he and I attended the same high school, and moreover, was in the very class right next to mine. He looked straight into the camera, his voice deep. You and I went to the same high school, and moreover, right in the class next to mine. He looked straight into the camera, his voice deep, steady and firm. Every single word uttered was rock solid. I am Yinsi. Today's video is meant solely for Gujihan to set the record straight. She and I attended the same school for all 3 years of high school. That year, she was the school belle, recognized by the entire school with striking good looks, a calm demeanor, and always focused on her studies. Beside her, there was never lack of suitors, but she never dated anyone. All the photos and audio recordings online are completely fabricated. Those male students surrounding her were all suitors, rejected by her, who kept clinging relentlessly and harassing. Not that she intentionally saw them. She has never done anything improper. All the slanderous news is fake. I guarantee it on my character. The moment the video was posted, the entire internet immediately blew up. The comment section fell into absolute chaos. Holy crap, the movie king even dropped his chubby high school photos. This is way too risky. Gambling his entire career and future just for an imaginary couple. Truly insane. This isn't acting business anymore. They've clearly fallen for each other. For real, otherwise who would risk everything like this? The school belle and the upperclassman next door having a secret crush. This setup makes me chip them like crazy. Seeing his unhesitating appearance in the video, my heart, which had long been numb, suddenly fluttered fiercely. Tears instantly surged out of my eye sockets. All the previous weakness and cowardice, along with the self-doubt and insecurity, all were dispelled by a massive wave of courage. I snatched Sister Nin's phone, tremblingly found Yinsi's phone number, and almost instantly dialed it. The moment the call connected with tear tracks, not yet dry, my voice was firm. Without a shred of hesitation, Yinsi, where are you right now? I want to come find you. The second I hung up the phone, the panic and impatience in my heart completely overwhelmed all anxieties. I didn't even care about put on makeup anymore. My face still had undried tear tracks, eyes red and swollen, complexion pale and haggard, my hair looking messy and disheveled from not leaving the door for days. I didn't even have the mind to find foundation to cover up the exhaustion, nor time to restyle my hair, only hastily grabbing a black surgical mask from the corner of the sofa, tightly covering more than half my face, leaving only my red, dazed eyes exposed. I casually grabbed my keys and phone, then frantically rushed out of the house. All along the way, my fingertips didn't stop trembling. In my head, his firm words in the video kept repeating, along with the discussions of netizens about him. I didn't dare to imagine how much public opinion pressure he was bearing, trading away the movie king reputation, accumulated over all these years just to restore innocence. Me. The taxi speeded along all way. I kept clenching my fist, my heart both aching and choked up, filled with insecurity and self-blame. Following the address he sent, I charged straight to the reception desk in his personal studio. They had received detailed instructions from him beforehand, so they didn't stop me at all, leading me straight to his office door. Without a moment of hesitation, I even forgot to knock, directly turning the door handle and pushing it open, hastily charging inside. Inside the spacious and bright office, soft light cast through the floor-to-ceiling window. Yinsi was sitting behind the desk, wearing a simple dark-colored suit, lacking the polished look from the camera, yet adding a bit of gentleness and approachability. Hearing the sound, he immediately looked up at me. When his eyes landed on my messy and haggard appearance, an indescribable look of heartache appeared. In an instant, he stood up and walked toward me immediately. stood rooted in place my chest, heaving violently, gasping for air after a long run. Took off my mask. My red eyes staring straight at, surged with an indescribable heartache. He stood up and walked toward me. Immediately, I stood frozen in place my chest, heaving wildly, gasping for air after a long run. I took off my mask, my eyes red as I looked straight at him, my voice hoarse from having just cried, filled with worry and questions. Pressing Sheyinsi, word for word, why did you help me? You knew full well that when that video was dropped, how anti-fans and marketing accounts would attack. They'll say you're doing anything for clout for a reality show, regardless of bottom lines, smearing the reputation you've built over all these years, and even ruining your career. Aren't you afraid of being dragged down by me? Aren't you afraid of being cursed by the entire internet and falling into utter ruin? We are nothing more than an imaginary couple on a show after all. Even if you stayed out of it saying nothing and doing nothing, one could blame you. Why on earth did you have to go this far? The more I spoke, the more emotional I became. Tears in my eye sockets again couldn't be held back, about to burst out, my voice trembling uncontrollably. My heart at this moment was pure worry for him, along with helplessness before this sudden kindness. Sheyinsi looked at my red eyes, looking as if I was about to burst into tears any second. He paused in his tracks, his gaze so gentle. It was almost devout, without a single trace of avoidance, or half a bit of regret. Only a gaze looking at me with absolute firm determination. His voice deep, solemn, and slow as he spoke. I am willing to do it for you, no matter what price I have to pay, no matter what gossip I have to face. I am completely willing. I stood completely stunned, rooted to the spot, every question stored inside my heart, choking up in my throat, momentarily forgetting even how to react. He slowly drew closer to me, his steps light, as if afraid of startling me. Deep in his eyes surged deep affection and responsibility, hidden away for over a decade. He softly brought up that past that I had long forgotten. Do you really not remember at all? Small alley behind the teaching building back in high school. Back then I was fat and insecure constantly, surrounded and bullied by upperclassmen. You were the one who walked past and shielded me behind you, driving those guys away. You sat down, gently patted my shoulder to comfort me, and even handed me a piece of floral-scented tissue. At that time you smiled and told me, don't be afraid, be a little braver. Memories covered in dust in an instant. Woke up completely. My eyes widened in disbelief as I looked at the man in front of me. The boy cowering into the corner of that alley back then. Fat body, face flushed red, a chubby classmate with timid eyes. That stranger classmate I casually helped back then. That teenager whose face I had long gotten turned out to be. The tall, handsome-featured guy standing at the peak of the entertainment industry. The movie king. I stared intently at, my eyes constantly observing, his face unable to match the faded shadow of that chubby boy in my memory. This noble, handsome, brilliantly glowing man before my eyes. My heart was filled with shock and disbelief, my voice trembling uncontrollably. It was you. It turns out that person was actually you. Sheyinsi looked at my astonished expression, his lips curving into a faint, slightly shy smile from his teenage years. Deep in his eyes was overflowing gentleness. It was me. From the very first day of high school when I saw you, I already liked you. You were the school, well recognized by the entire school, both beautiful and enthusiastic, open-minded, always smiling warmly, always enthusiastic and friendly toward all classmates around you. Beside you, there were too many outstanding people. The number of people who liked you was too many to count. Back then, was fat, ordinary, insecure, and cowardly. Even standing in front of you, say a simple greeting, I didn't have enough courage, let alone confessing my feelings. I liked your kindness to the bone. My eyes a faint smile on his lips, carrying a bit of youthful shyness. In his eyes was total gentleness. It was me. From the very first day of high school when I saw you, I already liked you. You were the school beauty, recognized by everyone, pretty, enthusiastic, and outgoing, always smiling with squinted eyes, always enthusiastic and friendly with all the classmates around you. Beside, you were far too many outstanding people, and the number of people who liked you was countlessly high. Back then I was chubby and ordinary, insecure and cowardly to the point that even standing in front of you to say hello, I didn't have enough courage, let alone confessing my feelings. I've liked your bone-deep kindness. You, your enthusiasm, and your radiance. You were always ready to help. Strangers always so full of sunshine. That was the light I craved the most in my youth, and also what I liked most about you. For 3 years in high school, I was in the class right next to yours. My biggest wish every day was leaning against the hallway railing during every recess, just to steal a glance at you from afar, watching you talk and laugh with friends, watching you walk so earnestly, secretly etching your image into my heart. That wedding photo I posted on my wall, and I'm sorry for not asking for, but permission first for my abruptness. He stopped in his tracks and stood right in front of me, his burning gaze locking onto me, a look full of devotion and seriousness carrying the courage and determination to go all the way. Word by word, he solemnly spoke the feelings he had buried throughout his entire youth. Gujihan, I like you. I've liked you since first sight back in high school. It has been a full 10 years now, not as an imaginary couple on a show. My true feelings that I've hidden for so long. When the show first started, I acted cold toward you because I was afraid you'd find me too pushy and feel burdened by me. I don't want to hide it from you anymore, nor do I want to lie to my heart any longer. Now I don't want to have a secret crush on you anymore. I want to stand beside you fair and square to protect you. Are you willing to give me this chance? I stood frozen on the spot, my mind going blank, my eyes clearly showing disbelief. In my memory, the boy back, then cowering in the corner of the alley, a chubby kid, getting bullied so hard he didn't dare raise his head. Person I had casually helped. Out that teenager whose appearance had long faded away, unbelievably turned out to be the person standing right in front of me now with a tall stature, a handsome, resolute face, a brilliantly glowing Yin. I stared dazedly at him, frozen, my fingertips unable to stop, trembling. Even after a long while, I still could not snap out of it, truly unable to bring those two world-apart images together, to overlap. Yin looked at my astonished face, his gaze growing even gentler, carrying a bit of shyness, with a sincerity that seemed unwilling to hide anything from me anymore. Actually, there's one more thing. I've always felt too embarrassed to tell you, but I don't want to hide it from you anymore. He lowered his eyes, his long eyelashes fluttering slightly, his tone gentle yet serious as he slowly spoke. Back when this dating reality show approached me, I originally didn't plan on participating. I've never liked these types of reality shows, nor had I ever thought about filming imaginary dating show with someone else. But in my heart, there was only one single condition. The female guest on this show must be you for me to agree to film. I abruptly looked up, my eye sockets burning up, my heart filled with shock. I listened silently as he continued, I've always known that you love acting very much. You always work hard and give your all to the craft. You were just lacking an opportunity, that's all. Didn't say anything else, just firmly finalized with the show team that they must have you as my partner. I was completely willing to serve as a launch pad for you, using the hype the show brought me to draw more attention toward you so more people would get to know you, and your career would gradually pick up and reach a new height. He gently took hold of my hand, his palm warm, in his eyes overflowing with gentleness and firmness. There was also a touch of anxious caution. Now, you've relied on your own efforts, be loved by many people. Even without me, your career would become smoother and smoother, your future extremely bright. I've liked you for so long, from my youth until now. It has never changed. Are you willing to give me a chance? After hearing those deeply hidden, affectionate words, for so long, from our youth until now, never once changing. Are you willing to give me a chance? Hearing these deeply hidden, affectionate words over these 10+ years of his, my nose suddenly tingled. Tears again couldn't be held back, brimming over in my eye sockets. Truth is, during those days participating in the show together, during those times, he gently protected me. I had long secretly fallen for him, just never dared to admit it, let alone dare to hope for it. Lightly bit my lower lip, my heart filled with confusion and anxious apprehension. I spoke up with a bit of shyness, an immense worry, my voice faint. I don't dislike you, but if we're together, will it affect your career? It took you so much hard work to reach where you are today. I don't want you to ruin everything you have because of me. Yin heard this, his fingertips tightening slightly, the warmth in his palm growing even hotter. Deep in, his eyes was full of unwavering resolve. He looked at me with gentleness and seriousness, comforting me word by word that it wouldn't, it never has, and it will never be like that. My career has never been more important than you. Even if there's gossip, I can quiet it all down. I won't let you suffer any grievance, nor will I let this love become a burden for us. What I desire has never been a smooth sailing career, to have you by my side. His words were like a soothing chill pill, completely calming every worry and anxiety in me. The love deep in my heart could no longer be hidden. I looked into his eyes, overflowing with deep affection and expectation, finally having no retreat left. Red-faced, I nodded gently, my voice still a bit choked up. I'm crying, yet extremely firm. I agree, Yinsi. I agree to be with you. Just as I finished speaking, in Yinsi's eyes immediately erupted utmost extreme joy. I carefully and full of happiness extended his arms, gently hugging me into his chest, the force, gentle yet very tight. This is so great, G. Han I finally waited for. He softly patted my back, his tone growing even more firm, full of doting and protection. Rest assured, those who spread rumors and smeared you, I definitely won't let them off. I will mobilize all resources to immediately find the mastermind behind this for you, restoring your innocence. I will absolutely not let you suffer any more grievances. In the days that followed, Sheyinsi was always by my side. He mobilized all the connections around him to trace the origin of the public opinion working day and night to review evidence, step-by-step tracing, count info, and finally dragged the mastermind behind everything out into the light. But what no one expected was that the person behind setting up all the drama turned out to be a high school classmate. According to the investigation results, she had always been jealous of me since middle school because I had striking good looks, a likable personality, and was the school belle recognized by everyone, always surrounded by no lack of sweeters. And the guy she secretly crushed on back then, his heart and eyes, only had me even having confessed to me. That jealousy took root and sprouted in her heart over all these years, never fading away. Those scenes of guys surrounding me to confess back then or when they pursued me were all secretly snapped by her, hidden away in her hands, just waiting for a chance to destroy me. It's just that over all these years, I'd always quietly been an F-list actress, without an ounce of fame. I could never find an opportunity to strike until I joined the dating variety show, relying on my own hard work and the show's hype. I gradually became known to the public, my career taking off like a kite in the wind. She finally waited for the opportunity, painstakingly plotting this public opinion storm. She not only dug up those candidly taken photos from back then and intentionally twisted them, but also contacted a few male students rejected by me back then using threats, gained to force them into giving false testimony, piecing together audio, waited for the right moment to painstakingly orchestrate this wave of public opinion. He not only dug up candid photos from back then to intentionally distort them, but also contacted few male students who were rejected by me back then using threats and gains to force them to give false testimony, piecing together recordings, fake audio recordings, and untrue statements intentionally, creating the illusion that my private life was extremely chaotic, wanting to completely destroy my reputation and career. The moment the truth was revealed, I only felt chilled and amused, never thinking that those teenage confusions could become something that years later people would use to maliciously attack me. Very quickly, my company and personal studio released all the authentic evidence, bringing the truth of the whole matter to light, while also officially filing a lawsuit against this rumor monger, the classmate who had slandered me, demanding she bear all legal responsibilities, paying compensation for mental distress and honor damages along with corresponding slander compensation, while completely clearing all bad names for me. And the fans who had always supported me after learning the truth were even more stirred up, speaking up one after another to protect me. Public opinion across the entire net thoroughly reversed. The previous insults and doubts all turned into heartache and blessings. Storm completely settled down after all the evidence and litigation. Procedures were clearly announced. I drafted a post on Weibo with a firm, upright and strong tone publicly, announcing that this matter has now been settled. All rumors and setups targeting me with false accusations have had their truth clarified. I have never done those smeared things. I didn't before, and I certainly won't in the future. Here I solemnly declare, if in the future there is still any individual or account making up baseless claims, intentionally smearing or continuing to falsely accuse me, I will show no mercy. Anymore, everything will be handed straight to my lawyers to sue to the end according to legal procedures, absolutely without leniency. Thank you to everyone who has always trusted me. In the future, I will focus on doing my work well and will also protect myself properly. This post, right after being posted, immediately shot straight to the hot search. Netizens bustled to leave likes and praises in the comment section. Life finally returned to its peaceful and warm state. Night gradually fell. In the living room, only a single warm orange floor lamp was turned on, its soft light enveloping two of us, creating a quiet and reassuring atmosphere. Yinsi gently wrapped his arm around my waist, holding me in his arms, his fingertips gently caressing the back of my hand. After a moment of silence, he spoke up in an extremely serious tone. Jihan, let's go public with our relationship. My whole body went slightly stiff. Truth is deep down in my heart. I had always longed to shed all barriers, standing beside him fair and square, no longer needing to hide, no longer needing to dodge. But whenever I thought of him standing at the peak of the entertainment industry, the movie king, career he traded years of hard work for, along with his reputation among fans and commercial resources, the overwhelming hope was instantly crushed by worry. Raised my head, my eyes, filled with conflict and apprehension. My voice very soft, carrying an unhideable hesitation. Of course I want to go public. Want everyone to know we are together. But, Yinsi, will doing this affect your work? I don't want to drag you down because of me, destroying all your efforts over the years. Yinsi looked at the insecurity in my eyes, and a gentle smile instantly surged in his gaze. Reaching out, he gently patted my head, his fingertips stroking to smooth away the furrows on my brow. His tone was decisive and full of doting without a shred of hesitation. Silly girl, it's fine. These things, I never cared about them to begin with. Actually, I've wanted to go public for a long time. Yinsi looked at the uneasy look in my eyes, gentle smile instantly welling up in his gaze. Reaching out, he gently patted my head, his fingertips stroking to smooth out wrinkles on my brow. His tone was resolute and doting without a hint of hesitation. Silly girl, it's okay. These things I never cared about in the first place. In fact, I've wanted to go public for a long time. Right from the moment we confirmed our relationship, I couldn't wait to tell the whole world that you are the girl I've liked for 10 years. I was just always afraid you'd feel it was too rushed, afraid you weren't ready to face public opinion. So I kept holding back, waiting for you to nod. He tightly held my hand, his gaze sincere and firm, every single word reaching the bottom of my heart. If my career is gone, I can win it back. If resources are lost, I can work hard to get them back. But you, there's only one of you in this world. I don't want let you suffer any more grievances, don't want our love to keep being hidden away in secret. So are you willing to go public with me? His words were like a soothing chill pill, thoroughly dispelling every barrier in me. The love in my heart could no longer be hidden. The rims of my eyes grew warm. I looked at his eyes overflowing with deep affection and expectation. Nodded my head hard, my voice gentle yet extremely firm. I'm willing to go public with you. Without glamorous makeup, without intentional staging, without a fancy scene. We only wore simple and comfortable lounge clothes, sitting shoulder to shoulder on the sofa upright, facing the phone camera, very solemnly, filming this public announcement video. In the camera frame, Yinsi kept holding a hand tightly, the hot temperature in his palm giving me plenty of courage. I was the first to look into the camera. His voice deep and gentle, yet every word brimmed with sincerity. Hello, everyone, I'm Yinsi. Today I want to use the most serious and solemn attitude to publicly announce something to everyone. Ujihan and I are officially together. The feelings I have for her started from the very first glance back in high school, a secret crush and waiting for a full 10 years. This kind of affection is never fake interaction between a couple on a game show, but something I've hidden throughout my entire youth, a genuine heart that I've carefully guarded up until now. I'm also very grateful to the fans who have always supported me. For Yinsi to reach where I am today, it couldn't be done without the encouragement of my fans. But I don't want to intentionally hide it from anyone or a relationship. This is being responsible. Shahan, and also being responsible. My fans. Saying this, he tilted his head, looking at me gently for a moment, then continued to look at the camera in a tone full of sincerity, specifically mentioning the beginning of that fateful bond. Here we both want to send a special thanks to the production team of Let's Date. If it weren't for this show, giving us the opportunity to match up this time, perhaps the feelings hidden for 10 years wouldn't have been known so quickly. Truly, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you to the production team for bringing this relationship together for us. After hearing his words, my heart was filled with warmth. Squeezed his hand even tighter, facing camera with a light flush on my face. My tone sincere and straightforward. Thank you to everyone for always supporting and trusting me all this time. Thank you also for everyone's tolerance. Being beside Yinsi is the luckiest thing in my life. In this relationship, I have gained a complete sense of security and growth. I am very sure of my heart. I like him and I want to seriously hold hands with him all the way to the end. The video finished recording. We didn't add any long status text, only simply attaching a holding hands emoji. Together we hit post on Weibo. Right after posting, Weibo instantly crashed for a moment. Yinsi lowered his head, his nose gently nuzzling the top of my head. His voice, deep, gentle, full of firmness and reassurance. I told you no need to be afraid, I'm right here. All the storms I will shoulder, all the peace I will give to you. He casually turned off, yet gentle, full of firmness and reassurance. I already said no need to be scared. With me, here I'll shoulder all the storms and reserve all the peace for you. He casually turned off the phone screen, which was still continuously popping up notifications. When all the noisy hustle and bustle outside was blocked out, there remained only a world of warmth, light, and the two of us. Outside, night was deep while inside the room sweet. Affection brimmed, no longer needing to hide or dodge. Anymore, no need to intentionally keep a distance. No need to secretly love each other in silence. From this moment on, we were fair and square, legitimate and official. After going public officially, we were not dominated by public opinion. We still focused on our own respective careers, always staying by each other's side, always being each other's pillar of support. Thanks to that, I could step by step. An actress, recognized by many people. Shae also kept glowing brilliantly on his acting path, yet he always put me in the top position, serving as the sturdiest backing for me. 1 year later, Shae prepared an extremely grand and warm wedding for me. It was no longer a fake mock wedding on a game show, but a marriage ceremony belonging solely to us, real and complete for a lifetime. At the wedding venue, covered with the florist roses that I loved the most under the witness of all our relatives and close friends. He wore a sharp, well-tailored suit, carrying eyes overflowing with affection as he waited for me, holding my hand, promising a vow that would never change for a lifetime. From the moment my heart fluttered in our youth, 10 years of quietly protecting me, from an imaginary couple on a variety show to real life, true love, from standing shoulder to shoulder without parting amidst the storms of public opinion, to a calm public announcement under sun, all the weight and perseverance and challenges. Welcome the most perfect, happy ending at this very moment. The rest of our lives from now on, through all seasons and years by each other's side, we will always be love, never fading happiness, never ever dimming, never ever dimming.